them man if you talk about them around the place and about them and bleach them face and cream them in a tight. Bad man them bumba clad.
Well, I can't believe how old Batman gets so cool. Me can't believe the Rasta man not turn pussy hole. Me can't believe the little take of them get so cool.
Me can't believe me high. Me can't believe me high.
Me can't believe some near me you hear say amen. Me can't believe some tight pants come in again. Me can't believe some gunman and Batman a friend.
Me can't believe me high. Me can't believe me high.
Me can't believe some Batman a run people place. Me can't believe the shot at them a bleach out them face. Me can't believe say certain man a compound with beers.
Me can't believe me high. Me can't believe me high.
Me can't believe the girl them a go the other way. Me never know Jamaica would have so much gear. Me can't believe the government them in a foul play.
Me can't believe me high. Me can't believe me high.
Well, if somebody did tell me would have say a lie. It's a certain man, a certain boy a guy. Me see it for myself, water full up me high. The one they a spy. Who's soul can't believe say gunman a bus murder case. Can't believe say get to youth and live certain place. Them can't believe a weed that stand upside a mace.
Them can't believe them high. Them can't believe them high.
Them can't believe some they come from wisdom of we run. Them can't believe how we decide when war be done. Them can't believe how we see down a certain gun.
Them can't believe them high. Them can't believe them high.
Them can't believe say get to youth a sit down and think. Them can't believe say get to man a follow say a drink. Them can't believe some matches in a garden and a ling.
Them can't believe them high. Them can't believe them high.
Them can't believe say them they a foreign and a case. Them can't believe when them come back away a place. Them can't believe how over new tune have the craze.
Them can't believe them high. Them can't believe them high.
Well, I can't believe how old Batman gets so cool. Me can't believe some big Rasta man a fussy hole. Me can't believe the little take of them get so cool.
Me can't believe me high. Me can't believe me
Well,
high.
me can't believe some dear me you hear say amen. Me can't believe some tight pants come in again. Me can't believe some gunman a Batman a friend.
Me can't believe me high. Me can't believe me high.
Me can't believe a Batman a run people place. Me can't believe the shot of them a bleach out them face. Me can't believe a certain man a compound with beers.
Me can't believe me high. Me can't believe me high.
Me can't believe the girl them a go the other way. Me never know Jamaica would have so much gear. Me can't believe the government them in a foul play.
Me can't believe me high. Me can't believe me high.
Well, if somebody did tell me would have said a lie. It's a certain man a kind. Me see for myself.
Welcome. That was Bounty Killer. All right. If any of you understand what the man of chat, he was basically talking about, you don't believe how Jamaica got gay people and how Jamaica stay, how Caribbean and African countries are, right? With with the gay stuff and shut up bad boy, bleach out their face. They don't like bleach cream and your bleach and thing like that, right? So that's what he was basically talking about, right? So as you see the title for today, it says FBA Pride Month, right? So FBA, they fought, right, for according to well, that's true, according to Rick Nasheed and any historian, that the whole LBGTQ thing that started in New York and their Selma, their civil rights thing, a lot of black people were a part of that, right? If you look on my I think I did a year or two ago, I did a video which I'm going to share is why is FBA so overwhelmingly gay. So I'm going to recap that a little bit as far as like why FBA is so gay, and they like to denounce that side of them. So I'm doing a little offense instead of defense right now. I'm mostly on the defensive side, so I'm going to be now take the offensive side, right? As far as like, as far as like, hey, some of the issues that black people in America, mostly black-born Americans, right, have a tendency to be overwhelmingly gay, and it has to do with the society that they're in being more of a Eurocentric society, because that's what so-called FBA or Black Americans have. They have a huge European influence on their culture, and that is reflective on how they view homosexuality and LBGTQ. So they are also a part of this movement. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to show you my previous look. That video I did was so good. Why is FBA so overwhelmingly gay? August. That I'm going to use this like almost every year. So For those of you who may want, that's the title. Why is FBA overwhelmingly gay? You can see at the top. Then other blacks. When I mean other blacks, I'm talking about blacks from Africa and blacks from the Caribbean and elsewhere, right? Since they want to do this contrast and comparison, right? The black Americans, for the most part, when they view LBGTQ lifestyle, stuff like that, is through the eyes and through the lens of Europeans, of Americans. Now, I'm not saying all Europeans and all white Americans have that same view as far as like level of acceptance, but it's something that it is there. So in the beginning, right here, I basically give you a history because I love historian of what homosexuality is, right, from a European standpoint of what it is. So again, you guys can check that out. But what I want to go here too, remember Tariq Nasheed did a video about buck breaking. So he was very honest about the about how homosexuality affects so-called FBAs and how it's very emasculating to black people in America, right? So I'm gonna give you all a little taste of the video. Has started during
move where you wanted to willingly. That was not something we were able to.
Fair use, calling fair use for educational purposes, calling fair use.
Do. So this removal of man and woman, this removal of the categories of gender, dehumanized us by letter of law.
There's one very familiar story of an enslaved African woman who says that she is married to an enslaved African man. And as she is married to him, she tells the story of him climbing in her bed. And she's prepared for him. She kicks him out of the bed. And as he attempts to get back in the bed, she grabs the poker and slams it into his head. Often that story.
I just want to stop it here. So this is Jabrario Saze here. And this is how you know Tariq is full of shit and he's an opportunist, right? He doesn't like Africans. He doesn't like Caribbeans. He said most of them are this and that and all these horrific, horrible things. And FBA is the best. And their FBA, what did he say? FBA is the moral compass of America, and FBA sets the trend for all this other things. Now, Jabrario Saze, he's from my country. He's from Guyana. And if any of you follow my channel, we have to be here already. That right? We got to, and you want to breed that. I'm trying to kind of skip the commentary real quick. Yeah, I know I talk a lot. That's what's going on, right? That's what's going on. You heard it from male animal. So basically, I just want to show you that is basically on buck breaking. He pretty much talks about how, it happens right here. I spoke about, if all you guys know the Little Rascals, of how they have buckwheat, of how he's always dressed up in a dress. He's always looking horrible. And even as a little boy, you can see how they emasculate him. He has a doll. It's a boy. They got him with a white doll, not even a black doll. They got him dressed up as a girl with a white doll. Like this is you see. So spoke about that. So it's something that since to be like the beginning of film, and one of our most famous people that started that is Flip Wilson. If you don't know, Flip Wilson is a black American, and here he had his own show, the Flip Wilson Show, right? So here is Flip Wilson with Harry Belafonte.
Doc. The tourist ship is coming up. I can't see you lying around like you, Doctor. Come on now. You can't lie around like that.
Before there was a Tyler Perry, before there was a RuPaul, before there was what's that dude name that plays black guy that plays Cinderella? Now I forgot his name. Before there was all those people, Flip Wilson set the trend for grown black men dressing in as women, being emasculating, and white people just laughing at you.
I got some cash and I know I'm clean. Watch out, Trinidad. Here's Jordy. Souvenirs, little jewelry. Honey, I don't want any of that tourist junk. I'm looking for the local color. The local color? You got it. Daylight come and we want to go home. He showed up, he said that. Daylight come and we want to go home.
So that's Harry Belafonte. And he's going to be there as Jamaican. You don't see no Jamaicans or Africans portraying in dresses like that. You mess with you and stuff like that, but real black Africans and Caribbeans are not doing what black Americans doing right here. And he's like gonna flirt with Harry Belafonte. It's just disgusting.
Well, at least she sent you home singing, didn't she? It's all night on a drink of rum. Stack banana till the morning come. Say, big boy, you know, bananas ain't the only thing around here that look well stacked to me.
Yeah, disgusting. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys that. We don't play that. And then there's another one here. He's with Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali's going along with it, and he looks uncomfortable, right? But let's continue. Yes. Hold on. Richard, they know and understand. Harry Belafonte ain't doing that. But,
that big husky, the killer used to be a fighter, too. Yeah, they called him Sweet Cherry because he was always swinging low.
Gay, no homo. So, you know, this is like a ongoing thing. This has been happening since the 60s and the 70s. So the book breaking continued, right? It's continued all the way from slavery to the modern day and age, right? And black people, you know, they tolerate it a little bit, you know, all fun and games. It's not really all just fun and games. They know and understand the pathology of what's going on here, right? Maybe he was going through a little. So you have Richard Pryor. I was surprised was dressed up in a dress. So this is a thing. This is just a FBA thing. You know, it's just an FBA thing. You know, you got Jamie Foxx, you got Tyler Perry, of course, Eddie Murphy. You know, it's just a thing that black Americans do, and I don't understand why I don't see any FBA or black Americans celebrating, you know, the homosexuals in the LBGTQ community, right? They you know, there's Stonewall happened here in New York in the Village, right? So, and there's a lot of black men see there, you know, live in color, right? You have Jamie Foxx, like what's the deal? You got Men on Film. I should have did that one. I think I did Men on Film. I got Men on Film on here, right? You know what I'm saying? So you got all this stuff. Let's play real quick.
Luther, Mike tells me you're an actor. I can't seem to place your face.
Oh, that's because I do a lot of radio acting, you know, that type of stuff. You know, mostly commercials and voiceover work. But you need to move your voice over there and take it up your face with you.
I'm gonna get too far. I'm gonna get too much into this, man. I'm a living color fan, man. That was funny. Yeah, that was funny. I remember that one. So, you know, that's Wanda, right? And then, of course, you got Tyler Perry, and who else? And then you have, this is my favorite. This is Coming to America.
I was Joan of Arc in my former life. My name is Peaches, and I'm
The
the
best
best on the
DJ
DJ
guy.
who wants to feel my breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to work in videos, but really I want to be my own star in videos because I want to become a pop singer and rock singer and write my own songs and produce my own songs. And then I'm going to try an actress because people are always telling me how talented I am and stuff like that. So then I want to go.
This is Coming to America, the first, and I saw Arsenio Hall, obviously dressed up with Eddie Murphy.
I hope you don't mind me to lower this down. I'm watching all this. Lying, Terry. And your friends, too.
This is crazy. Yeah. So this is just an American FBA thing. That's all. It's funny, you know what I'm saying. But hey, we don't. This is not something that we do in Africa and the Caribbean. In Wayne's.
Hello, I'm Blaine Edward, and I'm Antoine Mayweather, and welcome to Men on Films, the show that looks at movies from a male point of view. Tonight's show is sponsored by
Nasty. That's so wrong. Like, it's gross.
Nuts and Honey. What'd you say? Nut and honey. I bet you can't eat just one. I bet I could. Tonight we'll be wrapping up the summer films. First up is the box office smash Total Recall. Yes, this is the movie where muscle-bound Arnold Schwarzenegger goes searching his past.
Yeah. So you guys pretty much get the gist of what I'm saying. This is something that is just a natural a part of Black American culture, that it fully embraces the Eurocentric idea of LBGTQ and what they are and who they are and things of that nature. Basically I just want to touch bases back on that. The shout out to the gay FBAs. I don't know why there's no gay FBAs in the FBA movement. I don't. Did the movie butt breaking work? I don't think it is. I don't think it did. You know what I'm saying, right? Oh my gosh, this dude Porter. I forgot his name. Right? You know, so it's again all through entertainment, all through music. You got Little Nasty X, right? You got Kevin Hart. You got all these so-called Black men that are willing to wear dresses and do all that stuff. And, you know, white people love them and they embrace them. So I suggest you guys check that video out. I really like it. I think it's one of my greatest accomplishments, one of my best videos that I've done. So now that is taken care of, I also gonna get into what's up, brother Bakari? How you doing? Oh, brother Bakari, I have to talk to you, man. Hang around because your name is gonna get mentioned. It's something was going on. I'll let you know right now. Something like I think Anthony, or a guy that comes on your channel named Shaka Zulu. Like I guess you and him had a conversation or whatever, and he was on Brandon's channel, and I just found out they were talking crazy about you and me. So I'm gonna get into that. I hope Ant is listening because I would like Ant to call in, but we're gonna we're gonna get to Ant real soon, man. We're gonna get to Ant real soon. But yeah, thanks for listening on Brother Bakari. Try to tune in. just tune in. So yeah, so that goes into my other topic. So because we're gonna go into the whole pan Republican thing, so-called Brandon pretending to be a Pan African, and how people such as myself like Bakari and Afro Think Tank and a whole bunch of other people that used to go on his channel and they no longer go on his channel. You know how he kicks people out. You see how he abuses members, people that give him money. Hey, I disagree with you. Then he starts cursing them out and things like that. Guy has no manners, right? And then you got some people who, when they call out the obvious and just report on Brandon's behavior and don't, not throwing dirt on his name, just pretty much reporting what they're seeing, they get offended. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But we're going to get up to that very soon. So now that we're on this LBGTQ thing, and this is a little bit more of a political hold on, it says I definitely, when I play it, I'll definitely have you come up and pretty much defend yourselves. I don't know what happened, I don't know what happened, but I know my name was mentioned and you and him were having a conversation, and I don't know, it's about Trump and all this other nonsense. But so as a independent, someone that's on the left, right, and we have people like sellout Brandon, right, which is pretty much just a political, social black sellout, right? They like to parrot this narrative that people on the left are cold-heartedly, people like such as myself, Afro Think Tank, and just because we're on the left, that we cold-heartedly adopt everything on the left. So, which is obviously not true, right? So I'm going to show you a conversation of the far left and things that I totally disagree with. Now, when it comes to everything else, this person right here, I like his reporting. I kind of like his reporting is cool, but when it comes to like the LBGTQ stuff and things like that, that's where they totally lose me, and that's the far left. That club I'm not a part of. But as slow as Brandon is, or truthful as he is, he like to say, well, no, all of you are in the same pot, even though I know there's a spectrum of the right, and he has no problem being part of the far right, which he would not push back, because I said he's part of the far right. He did not push back, right? And I defended myself of not being on the far left. But I'm going to show you guys what the far left is when it comes to this LBGTQ homosexuality nonsense. So right here is it's really a guy named Adam Mockler. This is his channel. Like I said, his journalism when it comes to what's going on is good, but I totally disagree when it comes to this. So obviously the Hannah chick, she's like a right winger, and so she's gonna say like a lot of stupid stuff. But again, and I said this all the time, for those of you that even may not know, when it comes to the right, when it comes to LBGTQ and their stance on it, I agree with them like 80% of the times. 80% of the times I agree with them, right? Because I'm very conservative when it comes to that. Conservative meaning like, hey, look, I want to conserve and keep the plain Jane biological definitions of what a man and a woman is, and so on and so forth. Without delay, I'm gonna let it play. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but certain points I'll comment on it, as you'll see.
I think what we should be looking at is the fact that the government is encouraging it. The United States government is pushing the LGBT. I call it the rainbow cult because it is. It's just a movement run by sexual deviants running around saying it, the Pride movement, whatever. We can talk about that later if you want. But
I will correct it. It's not the United States government pushing that, which is a lie. I think from a right-winger perspective, anyone that they dislike, right wingers dislike or disapprove or don't agree with, feel that they should be disenfranchised. Now, me as a heterosexual person, I really don't care about homosexuals and homosexuality and things like that. As long as you not look, y'all do that, y'all go over there, y'all stay over there. As long as it doesn't affect my day to day and you know my children and things like that, I don't care, right? So you should be able to get married. Which again, personally, I don't agree, but if that's what they want to do, it doesn't really affect me, right? They want to do all that stuff, fine, do it over there, right? That's my stance on it. But on the right, they don't want anyone that they like to have any rights. So something simple as this, okay. And I'll give you guys a little fast, quick backstory. I have if I was like inhumane and let my hate take part of me, I have every reason to hate gay people. Now, my very first video, right, I spoke about this, right? My aunt had AIDS, and how I found out how my aunt had AIDS was like I lived through that era. I'm in my 40s, so I lived through the whole AIDS epidemic. And again, look at my first video for the details. But real quick, I'm saying this to say she had AIDS. She found out she was this guy that was bisexual. My aunt found out when she was married and also pregnant with my little baby cousin. She found out she had AIDS and she died. Her cousin, her husband, they all died, wiped out, gone. Because some gay guy didn't want to be honest about his sexuality and things of that nature, which, you know, was totally like destroyed my family and other families. I'm saying that to say is that I have a reason to hate gay people, but I don't, because I kind of understand this is who they are, right? And if they like, hey, look, I'm gay and we need like healthcare, right? If you gay, you living with a partner, you don't get healthcare, you know what I'm saying? That's like a bad thing. Like, hey, look, you know, they need to live, right? They're a part of society. You don't want them getting sick and getting other people sick, like with the monkeypox and AIDS, and they spread it to everybody. They should have health care. But Republicans, they don't want them to have anything, right? So in that regard, so that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. But the government is not pushing it. Corporations are pushing it because it's a demographic that they could exploit to sell goods and services.
The United States government, big pharma, the medical industry, the educational system, Hollywood, I mean, the list goes on. Literally every single institution in our society is promoting this movement. And so we could talk about how the government does it. Yeah, I don't think the government should be involved. The government needs to take their hand out of a lot of stuff, right? But ultimately, let me ask you this. Do you think that if someone is murdering someone else, if someone is harming someone else, robbing someone else, should the government get involved in that?
Yeah, that goes back to what I said.
Should people say, hey, you know, that's wrong. We shouldn't be doing that. Like, this is not okay. Like, you're harming someone else.
Of course, that goes back. Like, I think one of the first things I said in my opening statement was we should maximize happiness and freedom in the society as long as you're not harming other people. So if you're robbing a bank, if you're killing somebody, that's not okay. But again, I just don't see the harm in a parent, a doctor, and their kid having the freedom to choose what they want to do. And this, honestly, I don't see our institutions pushing gay people at all. I think they let people know that it's okay to love who you want. It's kind of analogous. You've probably heard this analogy before, but left-handedness used to be really, really low. Like, nobody was left-handed because the government, or not the government, but institutions would basically punish you if you were left-handed. And then as the years went on, as we showed that, okay, you can be right or left-handed, there's charts showing this, the amount of left-handed people skyrocket. I think that's what we're seeing now. When there's more representation in culture, when there's more representation in the media, then people love who they want. And there's this term called heteronormativity, which means that, like, and normatively, everybody is straight in these shows. So if you're watching a show.
So what he's saying is true. I kind of understand what he's saying. Because if society demonizes a particular thing or a vice or things of that nature, then people will be reluctant to expose that because it's demonized and is looked upon. So I get that there's more representation, so more people are coming out. But what I have seen is that it's pretty much a mockery. Like, there's no such thing as a gay person today is not really a gay person today, because the narrative that they're pushing is that, oh, if you're gay, you were born that way, or if you're gay, you could, and then they'll pivot or change their mind and like, oh, well, no, you're born, or it's your choice. You're okay. Are you born that way, or is it your choice? Like, which one is it? And what that creates is confusion, and people that are just exploring sexuality, and people that's just exploring sexuality, and you call out, okay, that's bullshit. You're just exploring that. You're not really gay. Oh, how dare you say that? And like, for instance, I know a family member that was like, well, hey, they're having relationship issues, and they don't know about this person, and if someone of the same sex treats them nice, and all of a sudden they're gay. Oh, I think I'm gay now because this person of the same sex is treating me nice. Obviously, it was BS, because they got over it real quick when people started challenging them on it. Like, really? You like the same sex? Really? And then they got over that, and they just got back on, and they just got, and they were just heterosexual as they're supposed to be. So what he's saying is right, but it also breeds a lot of fakeness, because a gay person in the 50s and 60s was an actual real gay person. Someone in this day and age, you don't even know that. They're just like playing around, or they're playing around, or they're exploring, or it's just a bunch of nonsense.
A show and you see a straight couple go on screen, you're not going to second guess it. You're going to be like, oh, that is just a straight couple. But the second a gay couple goes on screen, people are like, why are they gay? Why are there two gay people? Like, basically implying the fact that it's not natural, or that it shouldn't be there. So
it is natural. It's not natural at all. You follow the science. I mean,
well, and again, what he's saying is absolutely right. If it's just a random show, yeah. But if you're doing something like, you're watching like a classic movie like Scooby-Doo, and they redo Scooby-Doo, and they made Velma or Daphne gay. It's like, what the hell? Like, that's like infuriating. Or they make certain characters that didn't have no real sexual preference at all, and since they have no real, they're pretty much a blank slate sexually. Oh, they'll just make them gay. Like, that's like insane. I don't like that. That's the problem.
And I mean, let me ask you this: do you think a man can become pregnant?
No.
Okay. So we have some common sense there. So you don't believe? Okay, I actually was expecting you. I thought. See, me
too. I thought he was going to say yes too, because Kanji Jackson, the Supreme Court justice, she couldn't answer that question.
Actually, in this documentary right now, and they are like, "Oh no, men can become pregnant." That's 100% men can become pregnant.
Do you think if somebody was born a woman and they start to dress in a way that really looks like a man, so you probably know who Buck Angel is, the trans man who is very buff and has like a beard, that person still has a uterus and become pregnant. So I would say that trans men.
Okay, look away, guys. That's so deceptive. Like that you could do, if a woman is doing this with her body, she has to be very honest to people, you know what I'm saying, in her personal life or whatever, because this is deceptive.
If you have a uterus, scientifically, yeah, you can become pregnant. But I don't think men.
Well, you can't trans your gender.
Do you think gender and sex are?
Yes, you can't trans your gender. If you're born a man, you always will be a man no matter what you do. If you're born a woman, you'll always be a woman no matter what you do.
The same thing.
That is.
But I don't think men.
Well, you can't trans your gender.
Do you think gender and sex are the same thing?
No, they're not, and they shouldn't be. And look what she's gonna do, guys.
That is something that I've heard a lot. You know, if you listen to John Money, like if you go back, if you look at history, I've done my research. First off, yes, gender and sex are the same thing. These things that we're talking about.
Gender and sex were made to be the same thing, but gender and sex was never the same thing. So I'm going to stop it right here. And I didn't know anything about who John Money was. I'm like, who's John Money? And then so I was like, all right, let me research who this person is. And you see right here, it says John Money was a leading proponent of the idea that human sexual orientation develops through learning and gender socialization. He believed that males, if surgically reassigned and raised as girls around birth, will grow up to be attracted to males and live as heterosexual women. So he started doing these experiments around in the 60s, right? In the 60s, he was doing this. So this is him right here, right? He started doing these things in the 60s, right? Gender identity role in 1961. He proposed the hypothesis that androgen is the libido hormone for both sexes. Right, so Harvard University in 1952. In 1966, John Money founded the Gender Identity Clinic at Johns Hopkins University. Right, so this was something more of an experiment. So when they try to tell you, oh, gender and sex means it's not, it's something different. It's or we say, like, they try to muddy up the waters. Like no, you're trying to muddy the waters to say that just because someone wants to change their gender, that it doesn't mean sex, and sex and gender are two different things. Biologically, you can't do that. So John Money started all this. So you guys could just research that. I found that to be very interesting. I didn't know anything about who John Money was. So yes, that Republican chick, yes, she did her homework, and that is something that the left uses a lot. They say no, but they're different. They're different. Yeah, since when?
About they're not even controversial. I mean, these are just common sense. Like, this is just a common sense idea that a man.
Well, what you said is very controversial. Sex and gender are absolutely not the same thing. You can look it up right now. Sex is what is defined at birth. It's tied to your biology. It's tied to your reproductive system. Gender is socially defined, and it's ever changing. So, for example,
socially, one is scientific, one is socially. So if if the society agrees with it, then it's socially acceptable, depending on what circle, because not all society agrees with that, right? So they're ignoring the scientific basis of one thing and want one thing to override the scientific facts of what sex and gender is.
Back in the 40s, you would never see a man with long hair or a man wearing jewelry. But nowadays,
that's not true.
You can see men with long hair. You can see men with jewelry. And it doesn't mean they changed their gender. That just means these roles.
I've seen Italians.
Are ever changing in our society, right? Like these outward appearing things, like what you wear, the length of your hair, they always change. That used to only women had long hair, only women wore jewelry. Nowadays,
not true.
You can see women with short hair. So gender is basically how you outwardly appear. Sex is tied to your biology. So these two things are different, and I'm pretty sure 99%.
Yeah, and that's.
But one doesn't override the other. If you're a man and you want to be a woman, you're going to say socially, I want to be a woman. That's who you are, appear socially, but you will always be a man. The social construct doesn't override the biological one. So the Republican regular medical science definition is always going to be correct. It's just that, and this is my thing, they get offended when you tell them who they are at birth, because these people, right, are I might be jumping ahead of myself, are not, I'm not saying all are, well, to an extent, are psychologically have issues, right? It could be a chemical imbalance that they have, or it could be something psychological that is wrong with them mentally, and all that you're doing is just giving in to their psychosis, right? To their mental breakdown.
And that's something, you know, and that idea, the idea, and I don't mean to cut you off, but the idea of gender and sex being two different things, that wasn't even brought up until the 1900s with John Money. And he said, you know, and I'll put the quote on the screen so people can read it. of him literally saying that the reason why he wanted to separate the term gender from sex is because he wanted to confuse society. He wanted to confuse humanity.
That having two different definitions for two different words actually makes things less confusing. So if you have a strict definition for sex,
bullshit,
a strict definition for gender, that is why these two separate things exist. That makes things less confusing. And even if I grant you that it only started to be this way in the 1900s, I mean, science is ever changing. That's the beautiful.
No, you can't go on science. No, it's not science. This is the disingenuous thing about the left, and I like using these two, right? Because these two are young. They're not even 25, right? You can't say sex is based to the gender that you were born with as based on science, and then the other one is socially. And to prove your point, well, science is always changing. No. Science has never said once in the scientific community that there are more than two genders, unless you're a hermaphrodite and you were born with two organs, two sexual organs. There's no such thing as more than one sex. There's two sexes. Socially, you could have 1,000 genders because you're making it up. That's not based upon science. It's based upon people just making shit up. That's all that it is.
The beautiful thing about it, definition, science, these things can change over time. I'm sure there are other examples of that, but
there is.
Yeah, I mean, having two different definitions for two different concepts makes things less confusing. It makes things easier for scientists. And
stop. Oh God, this is why I wonder, because this is making me upset, because he's doing this stupid shell game of saying, well, we're talking about science, but no, you already established what is science and what is a social construct, right? This is a social construct. It has nothing to do with science. What scientific review has gone into what to back up what Adam is saying? Nothing.
And yeah, I mean, I just think I totally disagree with the idea that gender and sex are the same thing. I think that goes against all contemporary science. But I think we should go back to, I think the reason why it gets confusing is because about 99% of the time, your gender will line up with your sex. So people in society often appear the same way that their sex is. And I think after this, we should look up some definitions of sex versus gender. We can find in almost any single medical book that these are two.
If we establish sex is what you were born with, gender is what you identify socially. So if I have body dysmorphia, or and I don't like my natural body as it is, right? I'm gonna have some issues. I'm gonna have some issues. I'm going, and let's say I don't like my sex. It's like you have sexual dysmorphia, right? So then, yes, I'm going to want to change that. But me, as a person who doesn't have some type of body dysmorphia or sexual dysmorphia, then yes, my sex and my gender would align because I don't have mental issues, right? I don't have a hormonal imbalance.
These are two different things. But like you said, there are men with feminine qualities and females with masculine qualities. So I think that as time goes...
No, a tomboy who likes riding motorcycles and fixing cars with her dad and like playing basketball with the boys or something like that, she still knows she's a girl. She doesn't want to be a boy. She just so happened to like things that are quote unquote that people would deem in the society, well, that's more geared towards men. She doesn't want to be a boy. We all grew up with tomboys. Right? They're still girls, right? They'll still put on a dress. The men, I don't know. They may have some effeminate qualities or whatever, but there are men that have a lot of effeminate qualities, but they're not gay, right? So again, what he's saying makes no sense, right? What he's saying makes no sense because by what he's saying by these people having different qualities that they want to change their gender. That's not true.
Time goes on, these lines of what gender are only get more and more blurred. These gender roles change, and it's basically how you're socialized. So like if you ever take like an engineering class in college or something, you'll find that 95% of the people in that class are going to be men. And that's not because men are born to be wired to like video games or like engineering. It's because of the way people are socialized from a young age to like these things. So a lot of the socialization plays in. And I think that plays in the gender roles a lot. And we can get into that more, but I just want to say one more thing. I think on the other side of like, you guys think institutions are pushing LGBTQ, but I think there's a lot of trans hysteria on the other side, on your guys' side. So sometimes when I ask Trump supporters at the rallies, like, what percent of America do you think is trans? They'll say like 30%. They have no clue what the actual number is. You have people like Matt Walsh, who's one of the leading people in the anti-trans movement. He made a whole documentary about it. Then after the documentary was made, he went on Joe Rogan's podcast and said, millions of kids are on puberty blockers. There are millions of kids on puberty blockers. The real number was like 700. Like 700 kids were on puberty blockers. And the thing is, I guess I do have a question for you. So I kind of touched on this earlier, but if a kid goes to therapy for 4 years from the ages of 12 to 16, then when they're 16 years old, their mom and dad bring them into the doctor. There's a board of psychiatrists, and they say that you have gender dysphoria, and gender affirming care will make your quality of life better. Should the government be able to step in and stop that gender affirming care from happening? Because that's what's happening in a lot of these red states. They're trying to ban.
So I'll respond to that. You know, actually, first off, I think I actually am for gender affirming care. If you're born a man, you'll always be a man. When they come in the doctor, see, gender affirming care and what the media is pushing and what the medical industry is telling us is not gender affirming care. Gender affirming care is when you come into the doctor, you're born with male genitalia, you're always going to be a man. If you're born with female genitalia, you're always going to be a female. That's gender affirming care. And I think it's total hypocrisy. And that's honestly, it's laughable that, you know, all these little terms.
And I agree with her, because that's not, I think I had a conversation with my oldest son. That's not gender affirming care. If you come in, if I go to a psychiatrist and I say, hey doc, I like eating the things in my pillowcase, right? The doctor's gonna be like, okay, you have a tendency to keep eating stuff in your pillowcase. The doctor's not gonna keep saying, well, let's talk about how much you eat. Okay, you eat like about, I don't know, a couple ounces a night. Okay, that's fine. Like, how is that fine? It's not, you're supposed to get me to not eat it at all, right? You don't try to say, well, it's okay for you to eat it. Well, you eat like an ounce. Okay, just try to eat like half an ounce and you'll be fine. No, I should not be eating that at all. So the gender affirming care thing is like, okay, you're a woman and you want to be a man. Oh, so let me teach you how it's okay for you to feel the way you feel and be more comfortable in the sex that you weren't designed to. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. What is that? And people are afraid to address that because it's like, oh, you're gonna hurt their feelings. This is freaking therapy. I'm gonna say things that you may not like. You know what I'm saying? If you have, if your tonsil needs to be taken out, say, hey, your tonsil gotta come out. Oh, why are you hurting me? Because I gotta take your tonsil out, so I'm gonna put you on the anesthesia, so it's gonna hurt afterwards. Oh, you don't care about me. You're hurt. It's stupid. Like, any psychologist in this day and age will be afraid to even say anything like that. If you're a woman, you want to be a man, you need to understand, like, why do you feel that you're a man? You have to understand that you're a woman and bring you towards realizing and accepting that you're a woman, but they do the opposite, right? So I had enough of this, right? So I pretty much wanted to show you guys that to let you know from quote unquote super leftist ideology, like of how most people on the left would agree with people on the right on how they feel about, you know, LBGTQ and then crazy things that they push, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move on to what I would say will be our main event right now. So I was again on Brandon's channel. I was just checking it out. So what was the channel topic? It was right here. It said Biden loves criminal immigrants preparing for war. Rep Corey Bush has superpowers, whatever, right? I I didn't chime in on all that nonsense, really. And I just checked in to see what conspiracy Trump loving ass kissing propaganda Brandon was doing. And I pretty much came in probably like say about like a quarter of the way. But what he's doing here right now, and Bakari, I hope you're still hanging around because you're gonna your part's coming up soon. And Shaka Zulu, if you listening, man, call up if you can. So this is what I'm gonna do. When it's time for Brother Bakari's part is comes up, cool, Bakari, I see you. When Brother Bakari part comes up, and if Ant is out over there, when I put the link in the chat, I want you guys to come up. The Brother Bakari is here; he'll be coming up, but I want Shaka Zulu, aka Ant, to also come up, right? Because I anyway. So right now, Brandon is again telling more lies, right? Telling more lies about the Biden administration while telling none of the dirt of what Trump is doing. Like Biden got a lot. The thing I don't understand about these Republicans is that Biden, you could criticize Biden on a lot of things. They just make up lies. That's the thing that I don't get. Like if Biden could be told one lie or two lies, and Biden has a lot of things that can be criticized about, they don't even touch it. They just make up lies. So anyway, so he's lying, basically saying that Biden loves criminal immigrants who wants to keep the border open, which is all a lie, right? Because we all know that Trump told Mike Johnson to block the border deal, right? So since the Republicans are not doing anything at all, and Biden trying to work with them, he is like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to do an executive order, right? I was trying to reach over, do the Democratic thing, which the MAGA Republicans are not Democrat. They want to get rid of the Constitution, and Trump's supposed to be a dictator, right? Let's come together and figure this out, because Donald Trump said no, because then he has nothing to run on. Because remember, Donald Trump, it doesn't have any policies that will help regular Americans. So he's like, look, I need something to run on. Leave that alone. So he pretty much killed the border deal, right? Hold on a second. I'm trying to show you guys what I mean, because I'm not like Brandon where I just talk my feelings and cry. I'm a show improve type of dude. Boom, right here. So so before I show that, let me just show you what I'm talking about here, so we could be clear, so you know that I'm not lying. I'm not the person. I'm not lying. Brandon is obviously the liar here most of the times. So right here,
the former president calls this a betrayal. Is that what do you think of that characterization?
It's certainly not a betrayal. Actually, we've got to be able to deal with issues in law. That's how we actually deal with things in America.
Does he have access to the bill?
Doesn't seem that way.
It hasn't been released. How does he know?
These are all Republicans that want to their own border bill that they passed in their own house. They're sending it to the Dems, so the Dems could to sign off on it, right? And then when they get there, Mike Johnson's not even there, because he said, oh, it's dead on arrival. It's dead on arrival. His own bill that he sent over is dead on arrival, right? So they're responding to that. So these are all Republican senators.
Does he know it's a betrayal if he hasn't read it?
But the biggest trouble that everybody's got right now is no one's been able to read it. And so everyone's going off of internet rumors. And there's lots of things that are out there that are just patently false.
If we get a great bill, we should do it. If we don't get a great bill, but I don't think you're going to get a great bill.
And what we're seeing here is not leadership. Leadership would be actually getting buy-in on the bill, trying to get people to agree to it beforehand, involving people in the process, and showing us the bill. They haven't done any of that.
Obviously, by all of the polling, have appropriately blamed Democrats for the border crisis. They own it. I think we ought to do everything we can to try and fix it. And if we can't get there, fine. But if we don't try, then shame on us.
If you're not going to get a great border bill and immigration bill, don't do a bill. If it's not going to be good, if it's not going to solve the border problem, don't do the bill. And that was very important to me.
What's interesting is a lot of the elements that are in this bill, President Trump was actually looking for when he was president, that he had said, hey, needs to be done. We're in a moment where people believe what they read on the internet. And that's just the challenge that we have. And until the text gets out there and everyone can actually see it, it'll make a difference.
I mean, don't be ignorant. Read the bill.
Pretty much, they even didn't read the bill, but they're shooting it down, right? So, yeah. So I pretty much want to show you guys that. So I'm going to get into the video of Brandon lying and misleading, right? I mean, there's a ton more stuff I could have showed to prove my point, but I kind of want to get through this. So let me show. Let's get back to Brandon's nonsense.
So that they can rule like a king. And that's what Biden is doing. He's telling all the Hispanic immigrants, he's telling them, hey, I'll be your king. Vote for me again, and I'll make sure you're here for at least 4 more years. That's all this is about. And guess what? Their families and stuff who are legal, guess what they'll do? They'll go vote for their family member to be secure for 4 more years. They'll be a damn fool to do it, but they'll do it.
That had bipartisan support. And what he asked, when you ask why, he said it would hurt him politically and help me instead. So much for Republicans caring about the border.
Exactly. Biden is right. Same thing that I said, but Brandon's not going to mention it. He says, don't do that because it's going to hurt him politically, right? Trump doesn't want to do anything because he needs a W, right? So anything, so he's not even in any, Trump doesn't even hold any office, but he got all these people by the string telling him what and what not to do.
I also know many people in this room also had concerns about steps I'd taken. I heard and respected from many of you and many people behind me of the concerns you felt as president I had to take these actions. Every nation must secure its borders, just that simple. Trump and the Republicans wouldn't do it.
So you see me, that's right there. I'll put, let's elect America's first felon as president.
Working with me.
Now he's a president saying every nation must secure their borders, but this guy spent 3 years in office not securing the border. This guy literally told illegal criminal aliens to come over here.
Yeah, so that's a lie. Biden did no such thing. So I'm gonna move forward a little bit because he said some other nonsense here. Where we at? All right.
Nobody forced you to say that. Nobody forced you to say nothing. You volunteered it and you didn't do it. That's why Michael Kimbrough's ass ain't up here no more. Bro, that was a whole debacle. I ain't tripping. No one, I don't force nobody to do nothing. I treat you with respect, love, all that. But nah, bro, we not doing that. This channel
He's lying. He doesn't do that.
is not a place where you say
He doesn't treat nobody with love, respect, or whatever. He doesn't. So I just want to show you guys that he's telling another lie. All right, so where we at? All right, right here.
only people I saw with a gun were Secret Service agents. There's a guy looking through a hole and their Secret Service agents pointing guns at them. Now, this is the connection I want to make.
We did this already. He lied. He's doubling down on his lie that it wasn't a siege on January 6th. When I showed you in my last video, we all know anyone that doesn't have their head up their ass or Donald Trump's ass or QAnon knows that it was a siege, right? So he's trying to downplay, say, "Oh, it's not a siege. The only person to have a gun is Secret Service and people of that caliber." Okay, because it was a freaking siege. Like, what are you talking about, right? So this is what I'm gonna do now. So I'm about to put the link, because as I was doing this, Brother Bakari, I had no idea that you and Shaka Zulu, aka Ant, was on your channel and was having a conversation about me and how, you know, we don't like Donald Trump and people that don't like Donald Trump, or is this, that, and the other. And I don't know. I put the link in the chat, Brother Bakari, but I'm about to go play it right now, because again, as I was skimming through the video, I don't know, this conversation happened. Like I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and comes up here all the time. Shaka Zulu comes up here all the time. We disagree. We have a cool conversation, and you know what? I'm gonna just go back to the video. The link is in the chat, and if you're around or whatever, that's the link. The link is over there. But I'm about to play his part, because like this took me by surprise. Yeah, the link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. Brother Bakari, put the link in the chat. So you just link up. I'll wait for you before I play it. Yeah, I'll wait for you before I play it. Let me line it up. Let me get to the right spot. And where we at? Right here. All right. I'm ready to go. So again, this is Shaka Zulu, right? And he's from New York. He sounds like I think I know him, man. His voice sounds mad familiar. We know the same, we were around the same stomping grounds. I think I know, I just can't place my finger where I know him from. He sound mad familiar. You know what I'm saying? He sound like cool people too, but you about to hear the things that he was saying was like, it's like, what? It's like we not cool. It's weird. It's really, really weird. What's up, Brother Bakari?
What's going on?
And nothing much, man. I'm about to play it. Maybe as I play it, you could fill me in on what was going on, because I have no idea what was going on. I mean, he's gonna like dunk on me a little bit, but then you know what I'm saying, like I'm just gonna play and you just let me know what's the deal.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna trust you this time. Go ahead, bro. What you want to say?
Wait, no, I'm serious. I ain't trying to lose $20 in, you know what I'm saying, in cyberspace.
They'll send it.
This is Ray.
All right, man. Nah, all I gotta say, because I was about to go get my haircut, man. Now I'm just saying, man. Yo, stop playing. If Kofi gonna come up, man, you gotta put him in his place, man, because he be out there on other people's channels, you know what I'm saying, talking greasy, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to Bakari. Also, you know Bakari, right? You listen?
I'm listening to you.
You know Brother Bakari, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was talking to Brother Bakari. Was like, yo, man, that's greasy what he did, man. He on somebody else's channel talking about, oh yeah, cause the dude ain't got no, the dude father went to jail. You know what I'm saying? His mother was on welfare.
Now, this is talking about when I spoke about Brandon and why Brandon is the perfect black Republican, right? Everything I was saying was stuff that Brandon said on his channel. I wasn't defaming Brandon. I wasn't saying anything that was untrue. I'm saying the Brandon's reality as a black walking stereotype is understandable why he's a Republican, because all the things that Republicans, disgusting, despicable things that Republicans say black people are, Brandon has lived. So you cannot tell Brandon his lived experience that what we're saying isn't true. Brandon's problem is he thinks all black people are like that. No, just people that he know in his family are like that. That's not a reflection of all black people. So I said that on one of my channels when just I forgot which one it was, but this the pretty much to say why he's a Republican, right? So Ant got mad when I think I was on the Bitter Medicine podcast and I was mentioning that, right? So, and he even didn't come on the Bitter Medicine podcast, on Bakari, you just come on, whatever. He just got mad and just whatever. Now he's running to Brandon complaining like a op. Like I don't understand. But anyway, I'll just let you know who he's talking about. He's talking about me right now.
You guys,
let me say something right quick before you started.
All right, okay, go ahead.
So I'm like, yo,
go ahead.
Look, I knew he was talking about you right there at that moment, simply because when he came up on my panel, right? When he came up on my panel, that was the purpose of him coming up on my panel. First of all, I've already said what my show was, what my panel was about that day, what my live was about. Wouldn't nobody say if you want to come and speak on what I'm talking about. I was talking about things we can do for ourselves, like I always do. I'm trying to start the hashtag Hold Your Damn Money movement to take our community back. And he come up trying to crap on you and Bawana for something y'all said on Coco, and he got pissed off with me because of how I handled the situation and handled him.
Yeah, I did not know that, and I'm gonna show you. Ant came on my channel at least like 2 times, and we spoke about politics or whatever, and it was we disagreed, but we were still cool. So I didn't understand where all this animosity and this dry snitching that he's doing was coming from. I was like, whoa, like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So, all right, thanks for clearing that up. But if you want to hang around, cool, hang around. I'm gonna play the rest of it.
I'm gonna be here because I want to speak on it.
All right, cool.
like, yo, so I'm like, yeah, I feel you, but I'm telling Bakari, like, yo, why you on somebody else's channel talking greasy about the dude like that? You know what I'm saying? Acting like because the dude's father is in jail and his mother grew up on whatever. Why you talking greasy? I mean, he let you up on your channel. You let him up on your channel all the time. If he gotta say that, say it on your channel. Don't say it on somebody else's channel. Talking about, he got psychological problems all because you fucking with Trump.
Yeah, he does. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I said. Like I said, everything I said, Brandon said on his channel. So I don't understand. And you don't like me saying it on other people's channel, but here you are bitching to complain to Brandon, and you're not on my channel saying, hey, bro, yada, 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 yada. He's doing the same thing he accused me of doing. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong because this is something, the information that anybody that follows Brandon knows. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like he told me something in confidence and then I'm blasting all over the airways. That's why I don't understand why is he so mad. And Brandon's not even sweating it. He's like, okay, this shit is true. You know what I'm saying? And I said, that's why you are a Trump supporter. If I grew up, it's like these black divestors. If you got these black divestors saying, oh, black people ain't this, look, black people don't, black women don't want to have a family, black women is ratchet, right? And I say, well, why are you saying that, brother? Oh, my mother was a prostitute. My mother had all these men, you like, oh, that's why you feel that way. 2 + 2 is 4. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, but I don't know if he took it out of context. I don't know.
But this is the thing. Why he come up on my panel to be, and me and Shaka, well, we was cool, I guess, because after I said what I said, I handled the way I handled it. He got mad with me. Look, man, I don't care. Because what I said, look, man, because he come on my panel, Trump for 2024. I don't brag on no white people. They can sit and they can brag on Trump and brag on whoever they want to brag on. Like I said, I don't give a damn who people vote for. You have the right to vote for who you want to vote for, but don't try to sit here and act like Trump is some damn great human being,
Exactly.
and give a damn about you. If you're gonna vote for Trump, say you're gonna vote for him, but stop trying to act like he's some great man. And you know, and that's what I said. And he started saying, but look, this is what he said about the man. And I'm like, look, dude, I don't talk about nobody personally. That's their personal life. Whatever they said, it has nothing to do with me, what they said. But I told him I don't talk about nobody personal. I'm not saying anything personal about Brandon. This is not a personal attack, nothing that I'm saying, but it sounds like his lips have been sewn to Donald Trump's ass.
Exactly. That's all that so I don't like Biden either. I mean, I played further on. I'm like, look, none of them's no good. And I told him, come on his panel many times. Even when Shaka was on my channel, like he has like this blind loyalty for Donald Trump. And I talked to him and I was like, well, why? I always ask people why. People say, oh, you're a shield for Biden. I'm like, no, I'm not a shield for Biden. This is why I would vote for Biden right now. So let's say Nikki Haley. When Nikki Haley was in the running, I was like, you know what? I sit this one back. If Nikki Haley was running for president, I probably would have sit this one out. Honestly, I would have sat it out.
And that's what I'm doing. But this is, you know, this is my thing. My whole, like I said, and I asked the question. I say you can screen Trump 2024. First, I thought it's not like Brandon ain't ever said stuff that I agree with. But I don't agree with this stuff, Brandon, the way he's kissing Trump, acting like Trump is some great person. I don't agree with that.
This is great white hope. You think Trump is the next great white hope?
And what I asked him was, I say, can you tell me what Trump is going to do? I said, if Trump become president, is that going to stop you from spending your money with the Arabs? Are we going to take, if Trump become president, is that going to force you to hold your damn money so we can take control of our community, which is our power base?
Yeah,
that's what I said. That's what was asked.
And what did he say?
He didn't like that question.
Because it's a practical question that needs a practical answer. It's not like, well, I just love Trump. You know, say, okay, you have the right to love Trump or whatever, but I'm saying if someone asks you why, look, there was I fish a lot, right? I was fishing. This older gentleman was next to me. I always use this conversation because I don't know any real Republicans, right? He said, hey, look, I voted for Trump. He said, look now, the only reason why I voted for Trump was that, hey, look, I worked for Chevron since I was like 16, like in North Carolina, somewhere in the South. And he moved up over here, right? So, hey, look, I'm about to retire. I was, you know what, brother? I get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. And we were cool and cordial after that. But at least he had a financial reason to do it. You know what I'm saying? Versus, well, I just like Trump. Like you just worshiping a man just to worship a man. Like that's what I don't get. So when I ask people these questions, I'm thinking I'm gonna get an answer something along those lines. But when you ask them those questions, especially this is supposed to be a pro-black space, right? There's nothing they're saying that he's doing that will follow a pro-black agenda. Neither is Joe Biden. But if you want to operate within the confines of the United States, right? Donald Trump will not be the person if he said he wants to be a dictator, if he said he wants to get rid of the Constitution, that he should be a king, and like no. So how are you going to have a democratic process and there's no democratic system in place? And they just push it aside. But yeah, let me play. He's going to get more into it.
So I'm talking to Bakari. Bakari getting mad at me, talking about, oh, I'm kissing Trump's ass. I'm coming on his show, caping for you. You know what I'm saying? Cause everybody kissing Trump ass. I'm like, okay, what's you rather vote for Joe Biden or whatever? He telling me fuck the country, all kind of shit, man. But that's not what I would.
Yo, but that's the thing. Yo, Ant, when he came on my whole thing, that's the thing that I said. Like, he was on my show the last time, and every time I make a point, he said the same exact thing that he said you saying. Fuck the country. Oh, fuck America, man. Let it burn. Let it burn. I'm like, okay, fine. That's cool. But I'm just answering your question within the confines of America. This is how it's going to work. And what you supporting Trump in this particular thing, that's not going to work. Then he went to, oh, let the country burn. So I find that very ironic. He get mad at you when you and him pretty much got the same answer.
Yeah, man, he came up, like I said, he came up here caping for Donald Trump, man. I don't brag on white people. And I'm just being honest. Ain't none for me to brag. Ain't none for me to act like they are so damn great. You feel me?
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to do that. And when I see black people doing that, it irks me.
Yeah.
And not saying I ain't never met no decent white people. I would be lying if I say I have never met a decent white person that I dealt with and did business
Same
with.
here, same here.
Everybody I did business with that was white wasn't necessarily decent. It was just a business transaction, you know. But when you can sit and you can brag on bigots. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I live in Georgia, right?
Oh, what part?
I live in the Atlanta area.
Oh, okay. I'm from I'm always living around Stone Mountain, Gwinnett County.
Oh, okay. She live in Stone Mountain. Okay.
Yeah, like 30 minutes from Stone Mountain, like Loganville.
Oh, okay. I know what that is. I live in Cobb County.
Oh,
but
okay.
What I do for a living, right now I got a job. I always had my own business, but just slowed down. I got a job. What I do, I got CDS, so I drive trucks, and I'm out in areas where if you don't look in the mirror, if you don't look at your skin, you ain't gonna see no black person. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
but it is something that I realized though by going in those areas. I would not be surprised, not completely surprised, if Joe Biden won the state of Georgia. These white people here in Georgia, a lot of these white people here in Georgia has gotten so damn afraid of Donald Trump and don't think he's worth a damn. They talk about him. they talk about him all the time. I see so many Trump for prison flags flying.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In Atlanta or like Cobb County or Gwinnett?
In the Cobb, I'd be out in the mountains. Yeah, it's not necessarily in the city of Atlanta. No.
Wow, that's a little bit surprising to me because my mother used to be out over there.
It was
when Trump
surprising
came
to
in
me
there.
too.
You go to church and they talking about you in church. They talking about Obama being the devil and Trump is coming to save. I'm like, what the hell? You can't even go to church and get peace.
And these white people, I'm talking about. I'm saying white people. They say, man, they like, you listen to them. We ain't got nobody to damn vote for. Joe Biden. And look at him. He's the president. But Donald Trump, crazy. But I hear a lot of them.
Those are probably Nikki Haley on votes because you know he's getting Nikki Haley's not even running and people going there saying, "Oh, Nikki Haley." So
yeah, and I would rather have Biden than Trump. I'm like, damn.
Wow. Let me finish playing the rest. That's interesting. Let me finish playing on and out.
What I really want to talk about, I'm just like, yo, Kofi, he greasy, man. Then he gonna send he gonna talk in the chat, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third. What is his fucking problem, man? If you like Joe Biden, you stick with Joe Biden, man. Don't be mad at somebody else because they want to fuck with Trump, man. You know what I'm saying? Stop talking about people behind their back because they don't like to be on a Democratic plantation. The dude is disingenuous, man. I don't like that, man. That's a fake shit, man.
So this is like, I'm gonna stop it right here. So just to show you how Ant's being a bit hypocritical. Like I said, he came on my channel, right? He's acting like he was at my house and we on my porch or in my living room having a private conversation, and then I just went I just went on YouTube just blabbing all his business, and that's not what happened. So I'm like, how am I being greasy? I don't understand how I'm being greasy when it's just all public knowledge. Like right here, he came on on one of my shows right over here. Where it's at, right here, and he said some things that was kind of like personal, and I know I shared a couple things that was a bit personal. But if I go on someone else's channel and they say, "Hey man, I remember you saying this, that, and the other," I can't be mad. I shared that on my own. So how am I talking behind your back when this is YouTube? This is YouTube. Like, you came on here saying this stuff, like right here.
It's just the fact that I have a mother that rejects black criminals, but doesn't have a problem of accepting white criminals. You know what I'm saying? Just like I seen my mother date a white man who's a drunk, who called my aunt a nigger and disrespects. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But she would say, "Oh, this is a good man. He takes care of this and he takes care of that, this, that, and the third." But she done left 4 good black men to turn around at the end of the day. I mean, she not with the dude right now, but just the fact that you was dating this dude with green ass teeth and whatever. But it's just that some people, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of Jamaican women is like that. They just want to be close to whiteness, you know what I'm saying? But it's a power dynamic, man. Because
so she was raised back in the yard, or she was raised here? She was raised here. See, I'm not even gonna play all because to him, I'm throwing dirt on his name or some bullshit. He's on my joint saying this. So when Brandon says the same thing, I say, "Hey, bro, I'm not saying and he doesn't have any animosity against black women. That's not what this show was about. He was using his aunt and his mom, as an example. You know what I'm saying? But from what I know, the brother loves black women. But if the brother didn't like black women for argument's sake or whatever, then I'll say, "Oh, that's probably due to your upbringing or whatever of your mother pushing whiteness, right?" But even though that's the case, you're not like that. And it's not like we're in you're in my living room and you say, "Hey, bro, yo, my mom's blah, 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 my aunt, this, that, and the other," and I go on the airwaves telling your business. This is YouTube, bro. The whole world can hear this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. This is what I'm not saying he was like my best friend or whatever like that, but this is one reason why I don't got a lot of friends, man, because this is some bullshit. Like, how you getting mad at me? Like, if the reason why I have this forum is because people like Brandon and other people, they say, "Hey man, I welcome all opinions" and stuff like that. And when you go on their joint, they're disrespectful, they shout you out, and they kick you out, right? So I was like, you know what? I don't know a lot of places in the world of YouTube where you could agree to disagree, right, with your own black brother or sister, and y'all could just go your ways and always come back, right? So I was like, I'm gonna do something. And this is what this is for. And him and I agreed politically, but we were cool. So for him to be the Brandon, the Kofi and Bakari, I'm like, whoa, like that's extremely emotional, man. Like, what's going on?
I have no idea what the problem is, but like I said, man, I start to hold your money movement because I believe our power base in the communities is where we live, and we should own the communities we should own the we should control the economy in our community. I always ask, this is one question I ask a lot during my shows, right? I say, did y'all spend money with Arabs or East Indians? And people never answer that question. So by the fact that they never answer that question, that let me know that we really ain't on the same thing when it comes to that. That's why I asked him the question, which he didn't answer. He just screamed Trump for 2024. That's why I asked him the question. if Trump win the election, is that going to help you? Will you stop spending your money with the Arabs? Didn't answer that question. He just screamed Trump 2024.
That's just sad, man. That's just sad. And it's the same. I mean, as when Brandon does that, at least Brandon will mention a whole bunch of untruthful things, right? He's like, oh, Trump gave HBCUs all money and the First Step Act. Is like, nah, that's like either straight up lies or half lies. At least Brandon got that.
That's hypocritical. And what Donald Trump did, he said he did this, and I fell for that too. But then when you look at it, if you go look at it, what Trump did was not, I'm giving this to HBC because I'm a big proponent of HBCUs. Yeah. But that's hypocritical of Brandon, because Brandon sit there and shitted on Jackson State when Deion Sanders left for Colorado. Well, why would anybody want to go to a little shitty school like that anyway?
Yeah, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. But Bakari, me and you, bro. I remember the first time I spoke to you was on Brandon's channel. And look, we all live and learn. But I remember he was telling me, and I did learn something from Brandon. I didn't know Trump offered black people the platinum plan. So when he was on there, he was saying, hey, look, wouldn't be Biden is not offering you anything. Trump gave us the platinum plan. And you were caping for Brandon, and you were trying to talk to me like, okay, Kofi, yeah, I get it. But what Brandon's trying to say is that's a good option we need to explore. You were caping for him. I was like, Bakari, I get it, but I don't believe Donald Trump because he could, number one, he could have did it, right? He's still the fucking president. He could have did it. He didn't do it. Well, he was impeached. He needs a Hail Mary. I think this is a Hail Mary. I get what you're saying, but I don't believe him. And I said the same thing. If Joe Biden right now on Thursday, they're having the debate, presidential debate, and said, I'm going to give black people $400 trillion. I won't believe him either, because it's a political thing. It's a camp. You're the president right now. Why don't you do it right now? And that was the point I was trying to make to Brandon.
And I got you, but I'm going to tell you something, right? People mess with me now saying I caped for Donald Trump when Donald Trump first ran. But what folks don't understand, I never caped for Donald Trump. What I told people was Donald Trump was the best choice over Hillary because we need Donald Trump. And people took that me as saying, I think Donald Trump was good. So after Donald Trump 4 years was up, I said, I'm going to explain to y'all what I meant. It's not the fact that I thought Donald Trump was good, but a lot of black people needed Donald Trump because we thought this country gave a damn about us. Donald Trump put that racism. Donald Trump made people come out who was trying to hide. You understand what I'm saying?
I remember you saying that. I remember you saying that too. Yeah.
That was Donald Trump's purpose. Not that Donald Trump was good. He has served his purpose. But I'm gonna tell you, so many people is just selfish. They talk about, well, I made this much money when Donald Trump was president. Oh,
which is a lie. Which is a lie. And I can't say Brandon was like, I made all this money. I'm like, Negro, you don't got a job. Like, even if you had stocks, there's no way you made that much money. I don't think no Brandon living in an apartment, being a home health aide or whatever he did, got all this money, and you kicking dudes out because, or you getting mad that you didn't make $30 on super chats and Zells. I'm like, you sound broke as hell. But Donald Trump did something for me. You don't make $400,000 or $1,000 a year. You don't. So the tax cuts that Donald Trump gave people, you didn't see any of it.
Nope.
That's what I don't understand. I'm like, yo, this dude is like, is he grifting? That's what I'm saying, yo, he has to be grifting off of Pan-Africanism. He just has to. And I think all the people that co-signs his nonsense are very not smart, very low information individuals, and that's why he doesn't like me, because I don't just go along with what he says.
Yep. Now I'm gonna let me say this, right? I'm gonna tell you something. What a lot of people think. I have 625 subscribers. That's it. I don't care. I never tried to grow my YouTube channel. I'm on the streets. You feel me? I'm out here talking to people in real time, for real. You feel me?
Yeah.
You have a small channel too, right?
Yeah, I only got like 208, 6, something like that.
Well, you got 211 now. I subscribed and put you on Twitter, and once I said check out, and I don't even have a big Twitter following either, but I said check out. You got you like 2-3 subscribers from over there.
Thanks, Carter. Thanks for that, brother. Appreciate that.
but but it said that it made yeah. So my thing is, right, they think if you have a smaller channel, right, that you don't know what you're talking about. That's why your channel hasn't grown. No, I didn't come on here to entertain anyone. I really didn't come on here to be anyone's entertainment. I didn't.
True. I'm the same. I'm the same way. I did this because, hey, look, me, I'm a type of person. I'm an introvert, but I'm also a person that like conversations. But I can't find a lot of people in my circle that, you know what I'm saying, like to have the conversations that I like to have. Like me, I'm a type. This is New York. I know you've been to New York, so like I be having conversations with people on the street. You know what I'm saying? I'll see a brother, he sells some good books and things like that. I'll talk to vendors. You know what I'm saying? And here in New York, I'll talk to like book vendors and things like that sell books. And the vendors actually read the books. We have a conversation about the books. People passing by hear the conversation. That's how I met like most of my friends off the street. You know what I'm saying? With like-minded people. So I say, let me see if I can find those same like-minded people here online. So yeah. So when Brandon tries to like shame you or me try to shame me, oh, no one looks at your channel. I was like, bro, I'm not for you know, I'm for content. You looking for quantity. I'm looking for quality. You know what I'm saying? And people that look at you, it's probably looking at a clown show. You know what I'm saying? The circus got lots of people. Not everybody wants to be a goddamn clown looking at the circus. you thinking you the ringmaster and you the goddamn freaking clown. I look at him to laugh at him. See, like, look, y'all, this is what we should not be doing. You think people's doing that? Hey, people may do that. If I got 200 and something, maybe you got like 100 people doing that. That's fine. When I go on this channel, I'm not trying to convince the crazy people. I'm trying to convince the people that are centrist, people that may not. You know what? Let me give this guy hear what he's saying. People that are convinced. People like him, First Rifleman, and all them crazy ass dudes. They're just stuck, right? Even there's people on his channel that disagrees with him. And like I said, he kicks them out, boot them out. I'm like, come on now. You could disagree with me all day. I'm not going to boot you out. You know what I'm saying? As long as you do it respectfully, I'm not going to boot you out. But let me finish playing Ant real quick.
All right.
No, go ahead. You got to say something? Go ahead. Say something.
No. That's okay. Go ahead. I'll wait.
All right, cool.
He's just deranged, right? He just has like a mental problem right now. It's a form of psycho.
That's more than deranged, man. That's just that's totally going against the game, man.
What people have to understand is people are susceptible to programming. Kofi, I think, is like an Uber driver or something like that. He sits in his car all day listening to MSNBC, CNN, and stuff like that. So whatever people listen to, that's gonna program them.
The dude ain't no Uber driver, man. I think he works for a corporation or whatever, man.
Well, whatever.
If you look on my channel, Brandon wants to demean me, but it's okay. I've been on live at my job in my own office, right? I told people like my industries is aviation and pharmaceuticals and IT, right? Those are the business that I'm in. What my skill set is, I can pretty much go in pretty much any type of industry, right? So yes, and I told him before I worked in corporate America, right? But what Brandon is basically saying, he's susceptible to the same thing. You know what I'm saying? All he says is Fox News talking points. So it's I find it projection. He projects so much. It's just insane.
Or whatever he does, whatever he does work for a corporation. It's called Uber.
Yeah, you funny, man. You funny,
but people, and also people are victims of their surroundings. You know, they're a reflection of their surroundings. You work in corporate America, you're surrounded by a bunch of liberals and stuff like that. And I would argue that in the modern day, the only way.
So if you're working in corporations, only hire liberals, so Republicans don't work. I get it. Not down in people who have blue collar jobs. So basically, he's saying if you have a white collar job, you're a liberal. Okay, this is retarded.
A black man, especially a big, scary looking, ugly black man like Kofi, is actually going to find acceptance in those spaces is if he kind of panders to those talking points into that liberal ideology. So I understand where Kofi is at with it, but he needs to be more worried about his country, Guyana, about to be invaded by Venezuela and Russia.
Let me tell you something.
Again, he doesn't know anything about my country, Dwayne Wong. Right now, Venezuela's not even going to invade because Guyana is an ally of the United States, and I'm not even going to really get all into that. So, and I'm an American, and I got dual citizenship, so it's whatever. So he could say whatever. And like you say, Bakari, you know, what is he doing in California to make his where there's like no black people? You know, so what he's doing to make his neighborhood better. What is he doing? There's only one black-owned corner store. Well, that's not true. From where I am, living in New York, this is the Dominican one, and on the same block, there's a black corner store that's open all the time, right? Sometimes I gotta go over there, right? Because everywhere else is nothing but, you know, like the white Latino Hispanics and Arabs, like you said. That's all there is here. Then you got the Asians. That's it. There's nothing else. But whatever.
I heard some other brothers. I don't know if you ever heard of them, and they got a podcast on the Shoulder of Giants. It's like three brothers. They be talking, they be breaking it down. But I heard one of the brothers say something that I said back when Trump first became president. He was like, the dude was like,
Anyway, that was pretty much it, man. That was pretty much it when it comes to that, Bakari. I just like again, as I was going through it, I was like, whoa, I didn't know all this happened. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I understand now what was happening. Like, Ant, if you listening or whatever, brother, just come see me on my channel whenever I'm doing the live, and we could talk it out. We spoke before, and we disagreed, and I thought we was cool. So I don't understand how you taking it more personal than Brandon. You saw Brandon's explanation, because Brandon, no one thing Brandon didn't say, Kofi's lying. All the things that Kofi said is not true.
Yeah, that's, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not mad with Shaka. He got mad with me. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I said, the stuff I talk about is how I live. I've done a breakdown on my channel how I was raised. You understand what I'm saying? And
Bakari, you went out. I don't hear you. I don't know. You're not on mute, but I don't hear you. Yeah, I still don't hear you, brother. I don't know what happened. Go out and come back in, brother Bakari, because I can't hear you. And I see you're not on mute, so I don't know why I can't hear you.
can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I hear you now.
I had a phone call. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, man, I gave a breakdown on my life several times, how I was born and raised. So the shit I talk, part of my friends on your channel, the stuff I talk about is how I was raised. When I talk about supporting black business, I've been having to do that my whole life. I've shown, I was raised by activists, civil rights leaders. I've shown Life
Fannie Lou
magazine.
Hamers, I love that woman.
Fannie Lou Hamer was one of my dad's best friends. I've showed articles.
I love that woman.
I've showed,
that. Yeah.
I showed Life magazine articles. Well, Life magazine came to my hometown of Mississippi to talk about my things my dad was doing. My dad had set up. I went to an all black Head Start district that my dad had set up. I've been a part of seeing self-sufficient communities. I've been doing this my whole life, going out feeding the people, not because they homeless, but because they're a struggle, and we taking food door to door to people's house. So the stuff I talk about come natural to me. I couldn't use the N-word. That was a whooping in my house. I couldn't talk about black women. That was a whooping in my house. I couldn't degrade black men. That was a whooping in the house. I look, man, I was raised by giants who could have been millionaires, but said they had something to do for black people that was more important than the money. I'm gonna tell you something I learned. This is something my father, and I'll never forget this. It's just like I'm talking to him now. I asked my dad, I said, why didn't you take all that money they offered you to go to New York in the 60s? Somebody offered my dad a job in New York in the late 60s, like 68, 69. Starting this 68, 69, and the starting salary was $150,000, right? My daddy told me, he said, I'm gonna tell you something. They call me Pooh. He said, Pooh, I'm gonna tell you. He said, rich white people in New York, you know, rich white people in Mississippi. He said, they don't want me. They want me after. They want me out the way. And as soon as they close down these black colleges, they gonna fire me, and I'll be in New York without a job. So me staying here making sure black people can go to a black college and get a black education is way more important than any amount of money they can offer me.
Oh wow!
So the stuff that I do,
salute to him.
Yeah, thank you. So the stuff that I do come natural to me because this is how I was raised. So when I talk, a lot of people don't understand it, or they ain't feeling it because they don't understand that I'm not joking. I live this life for real. It was natural for me to start a year-round black book drive where I go out. I don't set up nowhere. I'm just out and I give books to little black kids all the time. That's what I do. It was natural for me to go feed the homeless. That was it. To go out here. That was nothing for me. It was nothing for me when I started businesses. I made sure I hired nothing but our people. Did it come back to bite me on my behind? Yes. Because all of our people ain't all the way right. We need some help.
Yeah.
But did it work for me? Yes. I would still one business I would still be doing. It would be huge now, but the chemicals start messing my body up.
What you mean the chemicals?
You know, I did power washing, pressure washing.
Oh, okay.
And the chemicals was good. So people can say what they want to say about me. But I went out here and I got brothers who needed jobs, brothers who had families, brothers who was homeless. I didn't have a big corporation, but I had 3 people that worked with me that didn't have nothing, that I was able to give $400 a week to work with me a few days a week. I had brothers go from homeless to a 1-bedroom apartment.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And it's just doing. Look, it's just doing the right thing that you love, knowing that you help somebody. When people say, "Oh, why you give that man that money?" You know that man is going to like smoke that up or whatever. I was like, look, I trust that he wouldn't, and I did the right thing. What I thought that I'm going to do. I'm not going to leave someone who I feel is being genuine and just leave him there. My conscience won't let me do that. And sometimes when you have people. And here, you know, people's always begging and hustling and stuff like that. But when people was asking for food, I'm like, nah, no way you're going to be hungry around me in this damn country. And when I go to them, like, what you want? They like, what you want? They order a meal. I was like, what you going to eat tonight? They're like, sir, are you serious? Like, get what you want to eat tonight. My sons are right here. I do that all the time. Go ahead.
Yep. Look, I'm gonna have to get off. I got to take that call. I'm gonna put my email in the back chat.
No problem, Bakari. Thank
you.
Hey,
check this out. Man, go check out my channel. Check out the video I did yesterday. You can also check out the one I did today. The one I did yesterday was called Weapons of Mass Distraction.
Okay, cool. Put your that video in the channel in the chat, so people could follow you, so people could my subscribers can subscribe to you also as well.
Okay. I'm not a moderator, so what I do, let me see. It
Just the
won't let
link
me
to
do
just the link to your page or the video, whatever you can pull. Just throw it in the chat.
what I would do. Let me see what I can do right here on my other phone while we talk, because we need to do a panel together. I got this. You ever heard of Tiffany French? Her channel is
No.
Tiffany 89 now. I want us to do I really want us to do a panel together.
All right, cool. Nah, I'm down. I'm down.
No, she talks about how when African Americans, the people that call themselves Black Americans today, because they don't
Mhm.
want to be African, when she talk about talk about them, it's how we fighting one another, but we are losing. Ain't none of us
That's
winning. I'm talking
that's the whole
about
goal. That's the whole goal when you
uh-huh.
fight your brother. That's the whole goal when you fight your brother. There's no wins you get out of that.
None no win, none whatsoever. None whatsoever. And but I like the fact that she was speaking on that, right? And there's no wins. It's no win. Like, because this whole, what's the name of who created hip hop? Microphone check. I just put the channel in there. I don't know if it's gonna come up. I might have to
All
go
right.
through, copy it, and put it in the back chat and let you put it in, because
All
I'm
right,
not a
you can do that
moderator.
too.
Because I'm not a moderator. But yeah, man. But that's what I feel. I want people to understand when I say hold your damn money. It needs to be a movement. Hold your damn money. It needs to be a movement. We need to understand. We need to understand. Well, I put my email in the back chat.
Yeah, I see the
So
email, the Gmail.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type the name of my channel in the chat.
All
And if
right.
people like what I said, like what I talk about, they can go they can go check out my
Subscribe.
videos. Yep, because I'm getting back to, I used to do my Mind Our Black Business once a week. Mind Our Black Business was me just promoting, going out interviewing and promoting black owned business. I just put my the name of mine in the channel, in the
Yeah, I see
chat.
it. I
And
see it.
that's what I did, and that's what it was and that I have to get back to that, because that's what's important, man, to me anyway. And I think it should be important to all of us. That's my take. As how are we with everything that's going on, going to take care of ourselves, man?
Yeah.
These people are at war with us, but we let some clowns come on YouTube and say, call yourself FBA, call yourself ADOS, they not like us, so on and so forth, desecrate the red, black, and green at their so-called reparations movement. Then they want to come around and try to convince you, no, Black American. I never call myself a Black American. A Black American to me is an insult. That's an insult to our ancestors who called themselves African American. And I'm not talking about Jesse Jackson in 1988 or 1989. You can go back to 1782 and they'll tell you the first time the term African American was used was
But that's what I
1782.
try to tell them. Like that's what I say. You talk yourself out of your own reparations. What do you need reparations for? Slavery. Who did they enslave? They didn't enslave a Black American. They enslaved Africans.
Africans.
They
Yep.
enslaved your African ancestor. Why ain't no African? Okay, kick rocks. Why are
Yep.
you
That's
here?
Yep,
That makes no sense.
and that's exactly. There was not one American enslaved. They did not one Black American enslaved. They enslaved Africans,
Exactly.
and that's what people
Exactly.
don't understand. But yeah, man, thank you for letting me speak on here, man. Go subscribe to my channel, man. Come through sometime, because I do have some things that I want. I do have some things, man, that I think we can do together, man. And I want y'all. I want everybody, if y'all can, let's go through that whole your damn money movement. If it needs to be explained again, I'm gonna probably do something Friday night smoke. I ain't done it in a while, so we
All
can
right.
talk about the whole your damn money. So we can talk about all that, because that's what we need to be doing. And once again, man, thank you for letting me speak. Thanks P Funk 100. for for subscribing to my channel. You know, I don't even call them Foundation of Black Americans. Actually, what I call them is
That's an
Foundation.
insult.
I call
That's
them
an
Foundation of. I call them Foundation of Billy Apes. They ain't the same.
Or
That's what I call
Buana put a thing he says called Flex bank account.
Yeah, it's something. It's anything other than us working together. But on that, man, thanks, man. And P Funk 100, thank you, man. That you subscribed, I sure appreciate it. Thank you very much. Peace and one love, man.
All right, thanks, brother Bakari. That's our brother Bakari. Everyone, please subscribe to his channel. Very good brother. I consider him an elder. You see, I gave him. He always has a place here. Even I never really disagree with him, but I was raised. My mother is the oldest out of 9. So when I was born, there was nothing but old people around me, right? So I'm always listening to people that are older than me because, like, you know what? They were there. And you know why? Because I'm going to be there one day. Ancestors willing, I'm going to be there one day. So I need to listen to what they're saying, right? So, and I love his experience that he's given. I love Family Luhamer. There's so many African American heroes that it's like it's you see the things that they've been through, stuff like that. It just hurts when we don't honor their struggle and their sacrifice. It just hurts my soul. But you know, yeah. So that's pretty much it. So P Funk, thanks for the subscription. I don't know what I said that you like, but I just I was just telling the truth as of what my view is. Like ask these so-called pro-blacks what shoulders do they stand on, right? My awakening came with Dr. Clark, Dr. Asa Hilliard, Dr. Jeffries, Dr. Ben, Ashwa Kwesi, Moata Ashby, those Sheikh Anta Diop, and others that probably don't come Chancellor Williams. Those are the shoulders Amos Wilson. Those are the shoulders that I try to stand on, right? And represent my life in the way that they wanted to. Ivan Van Sertima, that's what I pride myself on, right? And if I don't see that in other people try to say that they're pro-black and they Pan-African, I don't see they try to strive for that, then I kind of like, you know, push you to the side or whatever. But yeah, that's Brother Bakari. Thank you for coming. P Funk again. Thanks for the subscription, guys, and for everybody else, you know, if you can please remember to like, share, subscribe. Again, I ask for no money, no cash apps or anything like that. I'm not grifting here. I don't need $30 or anything like that. According to Brandon, I work for Uber, so you know, I'm not even going to take. You know, that's a ride. I'm missing out. You know, I'm not even asking for any money or anything like that, man. I just, you know, just all I ask for is just if you like it, go ahead. Just if you like what you hear, you know, subscribe and you know, leave a comment in the chat or whatever, right? So, all right. So let me get this out of the way. So, P Funk. Oh, he said, did you speak on FBA already? I take offense to that term. Curious to know why you are using it, right? So yeah, I'm using it because some people. This is another good show. I promote their show, the To Be Fair show. They have a show right now, and you have like 1 or 2 guys on there. They don't know they don't understand FBA as a whole. One is just a mouthpiece. The other one just don't know really too much about it. So when I say FBA, is for those people who Black Americans, African Americans who claim to be FBA. So I'm speaking towards them as far as like why that term is not a historical term at all. It's not a historical term. It's not a valid term. It's a term that was made up by wannabe pimp grifter Tariq Nakoon, pretty much. So yeah, that's. I hope I answered your that question. He says anybody that sees through Brandon's nonsense and considers themselves a Pan-African is all right with me. Keep doing your thing. Thanks, appreciate it. So we're gonna get into more. Go right back to Brandon's lies again, and pretty much how his epiphany. So that my point is to show him that how he is pretty much he says one thing and he does the other. At the end of it, you're gonna see where he is pretty much pro-Russia. You know, he's down with the Communist Party, communist idea, right? And I'm gonna lead him to that, and he's gonna get mad and kick me out, and not even give a coherent, logical reason why he kicked me out, right? So let's get it.
Our country. Look, so as the Democratic voter of Black people, and you know what, I'll bring Kofi up here. Kofi is in the building. I want to ask Kofi a question. So as Black people, this is what we're going to do, Kofi. We're going to vote for Joe Biden, because you did tell us that Joe Biden was the better option a couple of months ago. So we're going to vote for Joe Biden, right? So he can send our Black sons, and soon our daughters, because they talk about now passing legislation to make women eligible for this draft, to a war to die, so Biden, Hunter, and the rest of the billionaires could get rich off of selling weapons to Ukraine.
Which is another false thing that he did. So Hunter Biden is not rich, right? Is Biden being funded by military contracts? Yeah. So is Trump. Trump is also being it's part of the military industrial complex. And again, in case if you guys think that I'm lying, in case I got a couple of MAGAs or potential MAGAs or any people that just may be on the fence here, unlike Brandon, I just don't spurt out lies and just hope that and insult your intelligence. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show and prove that Donald Trump is a part of the military industrial complex, right? If you don't believe me, like fake news, deep state, then your QAnon, I really can't help you that much. So, but hold on while I'll get the article. Hold on one second. No. Oh my gosh. This is a bit embarrassing. I don't know. I could have swore that I had that article up, and I don't think I have it. I am very sorry. But can you please, anybody, Google, anyone in the chat, if you come up with something that Trump is not taking, he doesn't have military industrial complex in his pocket and doesn't endorse him, please let me know if you have any information that is the contrary. I will like that, because I don't want to start looking and then then take up time, because there's things I kind of I want to get to, but I do apologize for that. But yeah, sorry about that. So he does take money from I mean, he takes money from the NRA. It's hard for me to say, well, you know what, Trump gets money from the NRA, but something like Raytheon and GE military, nah, you can keep it. All right, like that doesn't make sense to me. But let's move on.
And eventually, off of selling weapons to the United States, when our troops get over there in Eastern Europe fighting, we're supposed to send our sons and daughters to die for that, Kofi. That makes sense to you?
Now, I do disagree with this whole draft thing. I totally disagree with that. And as you always do, you miscategorize me, so I'm going to rightfully categorize myself on the political spectrum. I am on the left of Joe Biden. I am not in the center of Joe Biden. Joe Biden is pretty much just a corporate Democrat, right? You're way on the right, right? That's the point. That's where we are right now on the.
And he's not going to deny that. I say he's way on the right, and he did not deny that. And that's an extreme, right? That's an extreme. Extremes are usually never a good thing. So he's on the extreme. He's on the far right, which is the extreme right.
On the political spectrum, you're way on the right. Now, to answer your question is, right, again, like I said, I disagree with that, with the whole draft thing. But on the right, you guys are selective in your outrage.
Wait. I didn't interrupt you at all. You're not going to talk about what the right is. I represent the right. You represent the left. That's what we're going to do here, right?
Yeah.
And the question I want to ask you, this is a straight up forward question. I support Donald Trump as president, day one. Do you support Joe Biden for president? Full stop.
With the option that we have, Biden or Trump, then yes. Unfortunately, when in the game of chess, you have to use the pawn. Joe Biden will be the pawn to something better. Yes, I would. You said you didn't let me answer.
No, you didn't answer. You never said.
I'm not going to answer how you want to answer. Want me to answer? It's either you take my answer or leave it. But at least let me answer.
Do you support Joe Biden as president? Full stop.
I would want Joe Biden to be president as the pawn that he is for something better, right? Versus the king that Donald Trump wants to be.
Joe Biden as president, yes or no, Kofi? It's a simple answer.
Yes, and I gave you a simple answer. Yes, I want Joe Biden to be the president versus the king of Donald Trump wants to be for the United States. Yes.
Talk about Donald Trump. I just need the answer. Do you support Joe Biden?
Because this is not a simplistic answer. That's why I'm saying you people. I know.
See, so he wants me to mislead. He wants me to answer this simple question, and while it's a loaded question and mislead some of his followers that may be smart enough to see the okie doke. But I know what he's trying to do.
I know your people, your audience is very low information, but life isn't just simple as one answer.
You don't have to insult the audience. We're just trying to make it clear for them. Okay, so we know that Joe Biden supports the war in Ukraine, and we know that Donald Trump is against the war in Ukraine. We do understand that.
Do we understand that's correct? Do we understand the reason why of their positioning of why one is for and one is against?
I'm going to let you explain the reasoning. I'm not going to explain. I'm going to let you do. But I just want to get the fact out. Donald, we do understand together as two black men, we do understand that Joe Biden does support the war in Ukraine and Donald Trump is against the war in Ukraine. We understand.
Without any context, as of right now, yes.
Okay, you're going to
explain. You're not providing context, but go ahead.
No, you're going to provide the context, but I just want to get the basic facts out here.
Okay, gotcha.
So Donald Trump is against the war in Ukraine. Joe Biden is for the war in Ukraine. Go, Kofi, explain the context.
Well, the context is that so let's start with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's for the war in supporting the war, Ukraine against Vladimir Putin, because Putin is not a part of NATO and Putin is a dictator, right? So, that's why Trump likes him, but we can get to Trump later. And Ukraine is a part of NATO. So Putin trying to get Ukraine. Huh?
Ukraine is not a part of NATO.
Well, it's supposed to be part of NATO.
Well, he's right. Ukraine is not a part of NATO. It's an ally of NATO. They're supposed to be a part of NATO, but they're a United States ally.
That's why if what you're saying is true, they're supposed to be a part of NATO, and it's a threat. Even if they weren't, let's go with you. Even if they're not a part of NATO, right? They're an ally, right? They're an ally, right? So we have to protect our allies, and what Putin wants is the old Russia to be part. Again, because Ukraine's to be part of Russia. So United States, anyone in their right mind doesn't want the Russia today to be the USSR of yesterday, because that's what the whole Cold War was about, right? So that's an American agenda, right? This is a chess move, right? We're thinking right now, they're thinking several moves ahead if you let Putin do what he wants to do, right? So that's why Joe Biden is for Ukraine and not letting Putin, a dictator, do whatever they want, kill their press and all that stuff. Right? Hold on.
I didn't
hold
give
on.
you a chance. You like
No,
to
no,
go.
no. I'm not finished. I'm not finished talking.
So
So
let me ask you a
the reason why I'm almost saying the reason why Trump wants is for the war in Ukraine because one, Putin has him in his pocket. One, so he wants that to continue. Two, he has a evangelical white racist base.
Remember, I said Trump has a evangelical white racist base. Trump has an evangelical white racist base.
A dictator, do whatever they want, kill their press and all that stuff. Right? So hold on, I'm at.
I didn't
Hold
give
on.
you a chance. You like
No,
to
no,
go.
no. I'm not finished. I'm not finished talking.
So
So
let me ask you
the reason why I'm almost saying the reason why Trump wants is for the war in Ukraine because one, Putin has him in his pocket. One, so he wants that to continue. Two, he has a evangelical white racist base. They have no problem with. They have a problem with the war in Ukraine because hey, look, that's no big deal, and they have no minds of their own, so they're gonna say whatever Trump wants. But the hypocritical thing about that, if you guys are against war, period, and looking for a solution for peace, then you should also be against, which I am for, against Israel. But you ask someone on the right, do they support Israel? Then it's then they have all these excuses of why they support
We're
Israel.
going to stick to Ukraine right now for the sake of the audience. So you're saying that Donald Trump doesn't want war in Ukraine because he's a racist?
Where did I say that, y'all? What? No, I didn't. Where did I say that? Where I did you heard me? I played it twice. I did not say that, but he's gonna pretend that I say that because he's slow.
Did I say that? Roll back and say
I
yes.
wrote
Did
it
I say
down.
that?
I wrote it down.
I didn't use the R word. I didn't use the R word.
Brother, you did. You said Donald Trump doesn't want war. The first one was because he's in Putin's pocket.
You talk about Biden. You talk about Biden.
Bro, hold on real quick. I wrote down what
I didn't say that. I'm not gonna play that part, but he's gonna run it back the whole time and then realize that you guys are welcome to check it out. I don't want to waste your time going back and forth because he said something that I didn't say. I said Donald Trump has evangelical race on base, racist base that don't care about the war, don't care about the war in Israel, right? They only care about the war in Ukraine. Like that's the war in Ukraine. Putin doesn't want Ukraine, wants Ukraine to fold. So of course Donald Trump says, "Oh, I don't like the war in Ukraine." Why? Because Putin's fighting them, and he's in Putin's pocket. They don't care about Israel because Donald Trump has an evangelical racist base. That's what I said. I didn't say they don't like Putin because he's a racist. Like what? Idiot.
Okay, you're gonna.
Because you're not providing context, but go ahead.
No, you're gonna provide the context, but I just want to get the basic facts out here.
Okay, gotcha.
So Donald Trump is against the war in Ukraine. Joe Biden is for the war in Ukraine. Go, Kofi. Explain the context.
Well, the context is that so let's start with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's for the war in supporting. Why are you letting it play longer? You already made your point. You know, Ukraine against Vladimir.
Literally, the freedom of the Russian.
I'm not saying you're America, all of America's allies.
Said it. You just said.
Yes, without context. Without context. Yes, without context.
America is saying no more. You don't support the war in Ukraine.
War in Ukraine. Yeah, that's what I said.
That's all I asked. I said, does Joe Biden support the Ukraine? So
we wasted time on your show, bro. It's okay. Go ahead. Let's go. Let's move forward.
I mean, it could be your show, but the thing, what I'm saying is, so basically, you've acknowledged you don't support the war in Ukraine, but you're voting for someone who does support the war in Ukraine, while most of America is saying no more war. So you acknowledge that the Democrats actually are supporting a candidate who doesn't even connect with them or represent them politically.
I'm gonna do this real quick, y'all. So I'll give y'all a little background on war in Ukraine relations. I want to knock this out. So, because neither of us are the authority, right? Neither of us are the authority, right? So, real quick, I'm going to show you why Vladimir Putin is, why Trump likes Vladimir Putin. So this is my Google search, right? How many journalists did Vladimir Putin killed? It said it is estimated that 21 journalists have been killed since Russian President Vladimir Putin came to power in 2000. In the great majority of cases, no one has been convicted and sentenced for the murders. Ooh, I wonder why. That's why Donald Trump hates the press, always calling the press disingenuous, deep state, fake news, yada, 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 right? Russia 13 murders, no justice, right? Another one, Russia ranked 10th in global in impunity index for whatever. Dead journalists in Putin's Russia, how Russia's press freedom has declared over the what. So you can see a lot of things here, right? Because it's a dictatorship. It's a dictator. It's a dictatorship, plain and simple. And I'm laying all this out for you guys. So as he continues shortly, tell a bunch of lies real quick, you'll just know that he's just lying or misinformed. And I think it's a combination of both, right? So right here, we're gonna put, since we're on Vladimir Putin, let's do this, right? This is on Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica. Why is Vladimir Putin still in power? When Vladimir Putin was named president in 1999, Russia's constitution limited the president to 2 consecutive terms. That's why after his second term ended in 2008, he served as prime minister before becoming the president again in 2012. However, in January 2020, Putin drafted a constitutional amendment that would allow him to remain president for 2 more terms. It is included in the package of amendments that was approved by Russia's legislature and in January 2020 by Russian voters, quote unquote, in a national referendum. Now, he's killing journalists, right? Sounds like he's killing his ops, right? But you're saying, hey, he's having people are just voting him in. This is democratic, even though he's putting amendments in where his term could last longer, right? So, let's see what Vladimir Putin does to his oppositions or people like me that say, you know what, that don't sound right. Why are you doing these amendments? So you could be pretty much a king. So let's go a little bit further, right? So the Guardian has something here saying the mysterious, violent, and unsolved deaths of Putin's foes and critics. Alexei Navalny. You guys, if you anything about Alexei Navalny, he was, mysteriously, quote unquote, died, and he was in prison for all that time, and all of a sudden he died. So you had Alexei Navalny, right? Alexander. I'm not gonna try to read these Russian names, right? It's the Guardian, and you guys could check it out, right? Alexander. It's Alexander, whatever, died of polonium 120 poisoning in London in 2006. And that's the focus for the track. So poisoning, right? This guy right here. I'm not going to try to even read his name, right? Who was on bad terms with Putin prior to his death. Right? These guys are just dropping like flies, right? Boris served as a deputy prime minister under Boris Yeltsin, right? So served on the prime minister 4 times. Blah, blah, showing origin were arrested over the attack, but those two Nemtsov believed that the Kremlin was directly involved. Another one, Anna Pilasova, whatever. Anna Pilasova was shot in her home in 2006 and unexplained death. So that's why Vladimir Putin is still in the position that he is in right now. And him having, quote unquote, elections doesn't mean anything if he's killing his foes. That's why America says he is a dictator and it is a dictatorship, right? So I kind of want to drop these couple of gems on you guys as the conversation keeps going. And once if he says an obvious lie, which will be coming up pretty soon, that he's obviously telling a lie. So let's get back to it.
At this point,
No, because you want to omit the context that I take, and you're making it very simple, Simon. And there's a whole lot of, it's more complex than that. There's layers to this. You're just scratching the surface, thinking that you know what's going on. This is like an 8-layer cake, and you're just dancing on the frosting, saying, "Look, I know everything." I told you with the context, and well, it is our ally, any ally. So let's take for argument's sake, if North Korea, another one of Trump's friends, Kim Jong-il, was to invade South Korea, that is our ally. We would have to provide military aid for our ally. So what you're saying is, initially, is that America, all of America's allies, we should support any ally of America. If an invading force comes in, we should not get involved. But is that your position?
That's not my position, but
how so? You're against the war in Ukraine.
So basically, you're saying that we made an agreement with Ukraine, therefore we should honor the agreements we made with them to support them in the time of war, right?
As allies, as United States allies.
So we should honor our agreement that we made with Ukraine.
Yes.
Okay. We also made an agreement with Russia that we would not attempt to recruit any of the nations bordering Russia into NATO, because it posed a geopolitical and militaristic threat to the safety of Russia in the event that Russia went to war with the West.
He's talking about a dictatorship now. And what he's talking about doesn't exist, but I'll let him dig himself in a deeper hole.
So it's okay
Russia
for us.
is not an ally. He's a dictator.
Hold on real quick. So it's okay for us to break our agreements with Russia, but it's not. Hold on real quick. But it's not okay for us to break our agreements with Ukraine.
Exactly, because one is an ally and one is a dictator.
But what is ally?
And if what you're saying, I don't recall what you're saying. I'm not saying you're lying, but I don't recall that agreement at all.
Wait a minute. So you don't. So basically, if you don't like the politics of a country, that gives you the right to violate agreements that you made with that country and throw everybody into war.
Now we're talking American politics. Well, I'm not talking Putin's politics.
Yeah, I'm talking American politics. This is not my politics. It's not how my politics should be applied. This is American politics, how American politics is applied. If you're a dictatorship, if you agree with it or not, in this case, I say it's fair that the Russian government is a dictatorship. That's what it is. And if you're an ally, we're going to get after you. So he's making it seem like this is my personal take when this is just United States policy.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Within the framework of American politics and government, that's how it works.
Let me say this. What I'm telling you is this. So you are willing to enter into war over your country, break an agreement that they made with another country.
It's my country now. I thought I was just Guyanese and we were just dusty, but okay.
That, knowing that we were the ones who violated that agreement, to you, that's
a dictatorship.
Wait a minute. So that's for you. So basically, you're willing to go to war to fight for the freedom of the Russian people from their dictator, Vladimir Putin.
Number one.
That they voted for.
Number one, right? Russia's
He
a
see what he said? Go up against another country, against their leader, their president that they voted for. He completely gave Vladimir Putin a pass. All the mysterious deaths of Vladimir Putin's ops, killing the press. No one has freedom of speech or anything like that. Him amending, doing what Trump wants to do with Project 2025, making sure that he stays in power no matter what. He gives Putin a pass, right? He gives Putin a pass. Either he's ignorant of what's been happening in Russia for the past 20 years, or he's lying. Either way, he should not be talking about politics.
Russia's a dictatorship. Russia has
elections. The Russian people.
Russia has elections. Also interfered in our elections. Russia is
that has nothing to do with it, Kofi. The Russian people.
Wait a
minute. It's the Russian people's obligation to monitor their own elections. According to them, they held a democratic election. They voted Vladimir Putin into office. Now, you as an American is like, we have a right to basically break international law. We have a right to violate our agreements that we made with Russia and the Russian people. You know, we got a right to throw the United States into war, hit the taxpayer dollars in the U.S. up for $200 billion, all because we don't want to keep an agreement promise that we made with Russia. Kofi, you don't sound anti-war to me. You sound like a warmonger.
So let me know when I could talk, because you asked me, you asked me a question. When I answer the question, you don't like the answer that I give you, then you ask me another question on top of the question I'm really supposed to answer. You're trying to be the king of filibustering and not letting me talk, saying you're letting me talk every time you cut me off, though. Right? So hold your question after I finish asking your initial question, and I'll be glad to answer your follow-up questions. The initial question is, in the context that you're putting it, is absolutely wrong. You're glossing over that Russia is not a dictatorship, and you're trying to put, well, an ally and an enemy is the same thing. The same promise you give to an enemy is the same thing you give to an ally. That makes no sense. It's like saying, oh, you my cousin. I made a promise to my cousin, and I made a promise to that bitch ass nigga down the street. Oh, it's the same thing. No, it's not. You're doing a false equivalency, right? Even if what you're saying is true, which I never heard of us promising we wouldn't do anything to our allies on the behest of the concern of Russia. Well, let's say even that's true, I would agree, like, nah, I don't got to listen to you. You're a dictatorship, right? Putin doesn't listen to us. We tell him not to do certain things, and he does it anyway. But again, I'm against all war. I'm against the war in Ukraine, but Putin is the aggressor. Zelensky didn't go over the Russian border and start shit. Zelensky and Ukraine was minding their business, and Putin came in to invade. So now you want to give a pass to the aggressor, saying, "Well, we don't want war, but you don't want to hold the aggressor accountable." That's not justice.
Exactly. He keeps saying that, we're sending money over there, we're sending money over there and stuff like that, and leave we're breaking promises, but Putin is the aggressor. Ukraine didn't do anything. Putin is the aggressor, but he has to let Putin do what he wants to do, because Donald Trump wants to let Putin do what they want to do. And just like Brandon said, Donald Trump is against the war in Ukraine, but guess what? He is for the war in Israel. Matter of fact, Donald Trump moved the embassy to the Israeli embassy, which would have cost, again, the whole Palestinian thing that probably would have happened even sooner, right? Because he moved the embassy. So he's provoking a lot of things in Israel that would cause problems for the Palestinians, for Hamas probably back then. Good thing they didn't cause Hamas to react due to the actions that he take. So Trump is pro-Israel. Trump has no problem with sending arms. GOP Republicans have no problem giving arms to Israel. Matter of fact, they don't like the fact that that Joe Biden is holding arms.
Right. But again, you guys don't take that same mind frame when it comes to Israel, because the right is guns blazing when it comes to Israel. So you guys are hypocrites. You don't want war when it comes to Ukraine, But when it's Israel, well, see, what happened was, see, you got to understand that there's all these nuances and all these explanations and things like that. So we can have a discussion on the war in Ukraine, but at the same time, apply that same resentment that you have towards the war in Ukraine towards Joe Biden. You could get on Joe Biden for that too, right? If you're gonna be mad at Joe Biden for Ukraine, also be mad for Joe Biden for him giving Netanyahu all that money to kill them.
I am mad at him.
Yeah, right. So let's not.
He's mad at Joe Biden, but he's not mad at Donald Trump for supporting the war in Israel. That's why he's a cuckold for Donald Trump. He's a fanboy for Donald Trump. When Joe Biden does it, no good. Trump does the same thing. Awesome.
Let's not play games here. You guys can't say you anti-war and then just think about we're in like 2 wars right now.
From where I'm sitting, most 99% of the Republicans are like, they don't want to give any more money to any more countries to fight, so they're anti-war. And I don't hear them making a lot of like excuses. But the agreement
that's not true. Marjorie Taylor Greene, all the GOP, they are for the war in Israel.
But they're not for the war in Ukraine, the one where we're giving billions of dollars. Listen, let me say,
and you're absolutely right, because Putin is Trump is in Putin's pocket. That's why, because Putin has Trump in his pocket. So of course they don't want that, because that's what Donald Trump wants. Donald Trump wants the United States to back out of Ukraine.
Say this: the agreement I'm talking about was the agreement made by then Secretary of State James A. Baker between him and the former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev during their meeting in February 9th of 1990, where the United States Secretary of State.
You hear that? See the article that he's reading.
During their meeting in February 9th of 1990.
February 9th of 1990. He's reading a treaty from February 9th, 1990. All right, cool. Mikhail Gorbachev. Because Mikhail Gorbachev, it's okay. You know what? I'm not going to even say anything. I'm just going to pull up from what I found and why what he's saying is not not panning out. It's just simply not panning out. Where are we? Not that one. Oh man. Here we go. So this site that I'm on, right? I'm in the U.S. Department State Archives, right? What is it? United States relations with Russia, the Cold War, right? He said February 1990. All right, February 1990. Let's see what happened. February 1990, because I don't know any such thing happening there from what I saw. Oh, where are we? Come on. Come on. What's going on? Oh. 69. 9. Oh, what happened? Oh, come on. You're not doing this to me right now. Hold up, guys. I think I had the wrong. Yes, the one. I'm supposed to have the one for 19. I got the. Okay, here we go. Sorry, wrong article. Same thing. The United States relation with Russia after the Cold War, 1990, 1991. He said February. So you see right here, right? February 1990, Secretary of State Baker visit to Moscow. Secretary Baker met with President Gorbachev to Foreign Minister Shiver or whatever in Moscow in February 1990. They discussed a range of arms control questions, making progress in conventional nuclear and chemical agreements. They also addressed Soviet immigration policies, right? Nothing of what he's talking about. And these are benchmarks, right? Maybe he met 1991, February 1991. February 1991. Okay, let's see here. Gorbachev's efforts to end the Persian Gulf. The Soviet government announced in February 1991 that the President Gorbachev and Iraq foreign minister, nothing to do with us, United States, not doing what he's talking about, right? So here's a little trick for you guys that may not know, right? So I'm gonna put like it's a find tool, right? When you want like to find things on a page, you hit find on page, and I'm gonna type Ukraine. I'm gonna type Ukraine. Ukraine comes up 4 times, right? This is the article: United States relations with Russia after the Cold War, right? See what agreements they have with Russia. So December 1991, dissolution of Soviet Union. Ooh, okay. Maybe it sounds what Brandon was talking about. On December 8th, I'm sorry, guys, if you think this is boring, I just want to make my point where he should not just be talking. If if you guys are into politics and stuff like that, I know appreciate it. For those that not, just bear with me. On December 8th, 1991, the leaders of Russia, Borealis and Ukraine declared that the Soviet Union had ceased to exist and proclaimed a Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS. 11 former Soviet republics joined the CIS on December 21st. The resignation of President Gorbachev. President Gorbachev, he resigned because he used to be the president of Russia. Russia is disbanded. There's no more Russia. So why would the United States make an agreement with Russia not to do anything with their president when the president no longer in charge of the former Soviet Union? It makes no sense. I'll continue to read. Gorbachev on December 25th formally brought the Soviet Union to an end. The United States recognized the independence of all of the former Soviet republics and established diplomatic relations with Russia, Armenia, Borealis, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Ukraine. The U.S. Embassy in Moscow became the U.S. Embassy to Russia. What is this nigga talking about? Go further down. July 1993, additional economic assistance to Russia. Let's read that, even though it sounds like nothing what he's talking about. At the Economic Summit meeting in Tokyo on July 9th to July 10, 1993, the leaders of the G7 countries expressed their support of the former process in Russia and Ukraine. The summit's economic declaration called for a $3 billion. Nothing what he's here is talking about. What he's talking about. September 1994. Yeltsin's state to visit to Washington. Gorbachev is not even the president anymore. Yeltsin is the president. It's like he's lying. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So that's a lie. So we could easily just go and bypass that and don't listen to his BS. We don't have to. We all know that he's lying and he's uninformed as usual.
Where the United States Secretary of State promised not to attempt to court countries that were part of the former Soviet Union into the NATO alliance. That's the agreement that was made to keep NATO off of the borders of Russia. So Vladimir Putin is totally right about.
I'm not emotionally
So
invested.
what he's gonna do here, I'm not gonna play it all. He's gonna show Tucker Carlson, a propagandist for Vladimir Putin, to soften our hearts and to be like, hey, look, Russia's not so bad, Putin's not so bad. If all you know anything about the news about Tucker Carlson a month or two back, going to Russia, trying to humanize the Russian government. I just showed you all the horrific things that the Russian government does to anybody who opposes Vladimir Putin, to the press, to anyone who opposes him politically. So he's playing this whole thing like, and I'm like, whoa, this dude is like defending Russia so hard and just really going in on defending Russia. I'm like, why is he doing this? Like this is, are we in America? Like, are we American citizens or are we Russian citizens? Like I didn't know what was going on. So I let him play it, and I'm going to ask him this question because this is his mask off moment that I am a Russian, I am a pro-Russian, pro-Trump person, right? I am a op. I'm a United States op because I agree with anyone who wants to humanize the Russian, the Russian government, current Russian government, and humanizes and justifies what Vladimir Putin is doing. He's a live Russian Twitter bot right now, right? With all this Russian propaganda with Tucker Carlson. Even like Mitch McConnell and other people in the GOP, like they want nothing to do. They're like, what Tucker Carlson is doing is disgusting, right? But you let him tell it.
Hold on, Kofi. Trump doesn't take money from
Yes,
China.
he does. He takes money from China. How can you, because you're pro-Putin, disagree?
National compass tells me that.
The Marshall Plan is completely absent. It's just all posturing. It's like people like Nikki Haley. You just wonder, like, how does an advanced civilization promote someone like Nikki Haley to a position of authority? It's like, what?
So again, he's against Nikki Haley. Why? Because he wants Trump. He's in Russia. Tucker Carlson understands. They want Trump because Putin loves Trump. And Nikki Haley, which is just a regular Democrat and not a traitor to the United States, is not gonna listen to Putin and not let Putin get away, ally of Ukraine, get away with all the things that he's doing. So of course he has to be against Nikki Haley or any person that's for the GOP besides Donald Trump, right? So this is their mask off moment.
Adults are talking. Nikki Haley, please go away. Like that would be the appropriate response, but everyone's so intimidated to be like, oh, she's a strong woman. She's so transparently weak.
I mean, to me, it just seems like as Republicans, we're like, listen, we're looking at things from all the angles. Kofi, to me, it seems like you guys are just kind of like trying to feel your way through this, like with like an emotional compass, right? Well, I'm against war because the emotional compass tells me that that's bad, right? But I'm pro-war because the emotional compass tells me that it's good to support these Ukrainians that I pretend to feel sorry for. And if you've ever held a compass, Kofi, you kind of notice as you turn the compass, it always wiggles, right? And it never really sits straight on any particular direction because you don't realize it, but you're moving the compass as you're like walking. So the compass can point you in the general direction you're going, but it's not very precise. And that's why I see the Democrats or the liberals, they're trying to get on the straight and narrow, but it's not very precise. Their feelings to the side to make
Disagree with your half statements, and you can have your opinion of, hey, look, I feel. That's fine. You're gonna say I have feelings is direct into it, but you're going based upon how you feel about me. But anyway, so it's, correct me if I'm wrong. So it sounds like you're pro Putin.
I'm not pro anybody.
Yeah,
I'm pro America.
You're not pro America.
Listen, how does fighting?
Okay, hold on. I just want to answer. I just want to answer. You say you're pro. Yeah, you say you're pro America. I asked you if you're pro Putin. You said no, you're not pro anybody. You're pro America, right?
Hold on, real quick. How does supporting Ukraine help America?
You answer a question with a question. I just want to know if you're pro Putin.
You said I'm pro Putin. I said I'm pro America. You said
okay,
no,
cool, fine.
Hold on, real quick. And then I asked the question: how does helping Ukraine help America?
We're not going to understand each other if all you're doing is talking. And when every time I ask a question, you stop.
You told me that I wasn't pro-America.
Yes, and you answered. You said you're not pro anybody, and you're pro America.
when I said I'm pro-America, you said no, you're not. That's
Okay,
exactly
good, exactly. So I'm going to explain why you're a hypocrite. You are pro-America. I asked if you're pro-Putin. You said no, I'm pro-America, and I said no because you're pro-Putin. Because if you were pro-America, right, agreed or disagreed, you say, you know what, I'm for America, but I disagree what they're doing. But what you're doing, you're showing Tucker Carlson, which is a propagandist, right,
wrong
for
with it.
Vladimir, Hey, bro, I didn't interrupt you when you were talking. I disagree with you.
You're
But I
only
let you finish so people could hear your side. You could let people hear my side so we can understand. So at least understand my side in its totality, right? Where Putin, even Mitch McConnell and people on the right, on the hard right, disagree with what Tucker Carlson is doing because it is a little bit anti-American. You cannot be anti-American. You cannot be pro-American and then you go over to America, which is Putin and America are adversaries, and you're providing cover and explanations for Putin to make it say, oh, well, no, Russia's not bad. Communism is not so bad. So that's where you confuse.
Because America tells you that someone's the enemy, you can't talk to them. That's basically what you're saying.
Whoa, hold on. You just said you're pro-America.
That's what you just said, though. You said because
you said you're pro-America. So I asked you if you're a pro-America, how can you side with Tucker Carlson, who is a propagandist?
Okay. Do you believe? Okay, let's use this same logic that you're using. How can Biden say he's pro-America when everything he does hurts America? Funding Ukraine, being in bed with China up to his damn elbows. Biden says he's pro-America. China is our biggest geopolitical enemy. Yet Biden is talking about the Chinese are good folks. So make that make sense. It's
no. Biden is not in bed with China financially like he alludes to. So you know me, Mr. Show and Proof, show you guys an article real quick about Trump being in bed with China. All right. Where are we? Hold on. I got so much good stuff, y'all. All right. Ooh, Axios. Trump got 7.8 million from China. Others during presidency. Right? I ain't lying. Right? He got all political donors linked to China, one access to Trump GOP, right? Trump owed tens of millions to Bank of China. Ooh, there's an incentive right there. So again, he's in a MAGA bubble, or he will never report anything negative about Donald Trump. That's why he is in a cult. And all these Trump supporters are cultists. Right, they're cultists under the mask of no, this is just my political affiliation. That's all. Okay, so why are your balls in his mouth? Like, what's going on? Like, you're too far into this nonsense, right? So this is the consensus. Everybody's lying. So what will be their next talking about? Oh, deep state, fake news, deep state, fake news. Exactly, right? Because all truth comes from Trump. Nobody else has the truth. It's pretty much like Putin. I am the word. I'm the only word. What I say goes, right? So you see the parallel here. What's going on here, right? That's why all the things he's saying is not surprising to me, because Donald Trump wants to be a dictator, right? That's what he's striving for right now, right? So now that I showed you guys that, we can get back some more of Brandon's lies.
It's okay to talk to some of our enemies, but not other ones.
Is that a rhetorical question, or are you really asking me a question?
I'm really asking you that.
Okay, so again, like I said, I am left of Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden is a corporate Dem. Nancy Pelosi is a corporate Dem. Chuck Schumer is a corporate Dem, right? But you have some Republicans, right? They're also warmongers, right? Like Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, Mitch McConnell, John Bolton. All of them are that. So you're not really getting
You
any
have
point.
John Bolton, that was always a right winger up to this day right now, and he says Donald Trump is incompetent and he's dangerous. And John Bolton admitted to doing a coup somewhere in Latin America like last term because he was a part of the Trump cabinet, and he even admitted doing a coup. All he wants is war. There's never a war that John Bolton ever saw that he never liked, and he's saying that Trump is dangerous. Like, come on. Like this is like there's so much things to be concerned and worried about. That's why this dude is very dangerous and disingenuous, and people like him. Like either he knows what he's doing or he doesn't know what he's doing and just need to just sit in the corner and be quiet somewhere and let grown folks talk.
Getting any points because both sides are guilty. Hold on. Both sides are guilty of that. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
So what you're saying, yeah. So you're saying Joe Biden is a corporate Democrat. That's who you're voting for. Donald Trump is not a corporate Republican.
Yes, he is. What the hell are you talking about?
Hold on, Kofi. Calm down.
Trump takes money from China.
Hold on, Kofi. Trump doesn't take money from
Yes,
China.
he does.
You know that he's lying or he just doesn't know. You know Brandon is lying or he just doesn't know shit as usual.
Takes money from China. He takes money from China as far as how he launders his money, quote unquote, not taking money from China. He has people, he has Chinese dignitaries go in his hotels. He takes money from the Saudis. He takes money from we all able.
Yes, Trump also takes money from the Saudis, right? Again, I'm going to show and prove just in case we got some people straddling the fence here that's not sure and say that, hey, Kofi's lying or whatever, right? Right here, I'll do the heavy lifting for you, right? Jared Kushner took $20 billion from the Saudis, right? Took $20 billion from the Saudis. And there's videos of a video of people questioning it, and
I own a lot of businesses, so I wear a lot of hats.
there's videos that people have been questioning it, and he tried to, oh well, I just believe in his vision and yada yada yada. These guys are freaking terrorists. like what are you doing? These guys are part of terrorists. They kill anyone. Again, like Putin, they killed journalists like Jamal Khashoggi. I think is his name. They killed him because he spoke against the Saudi prince. Right? Trump is in bed with dictators.
While House Republicans are focused on whatever money Hunter Biden and the president's brothers may have garnered from connections to the then Vice President Joe Biden, an FBI informant has now been charged with lying about the Bidens' ties to the Ukrainian energy company Burisma, a charge that undercuts the whole Republican effort. Meanwhile,
yeah, guys, remember that? All the stuff that the Republicans say do was from an FBI informant was FBI informant was really a Russian informant.
While there is also some next level sleaze and grift going on right in front of our eyes. Jared Kushner, who ran Middle East policy as a sort of shadow Secretary of State during the Trump years, and the son-in-law of Donald Trump, had advised the president at the time, Donald Trump, to cozy up to Saudi leaders, including by not protesting.
Jared Kushner has no foreign relation experience. He has no experience in government at all. It's just Trump putting his family in positions of power to gain money. That's it.
Protesting Saudi brutal human rights violations. He often defended Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or MBS, whom the U.S. says ordered the brutal murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi's body was cut into pieces after he was killed at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul in 2018. Now, shortly after leaving the White House, Kushner's equity firm was reportedly given $2 billion by the Saudis' royal fund, which is controlled by MBS. Earlier this week, Kushner was asked by Axios about the U.S. intelligence report, which holds MBS responsible for Jamal Khashoggi's murder.
Do you agree with the DNI? Do you believe that report?
Are we really still doing this, Dan? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have not seen the DNI report that the Biden administration put out there, right? And number two is, look, I know the person who I dealt with. I think he's a visionary leader. I think what he's done in that region is transformational. I think he's done a lot of things that are in America's interest, and I think he's done a lot of things that have made the world a better place. And I understand why people, are upset about that. I think what happened there was absolutely horrific. But again, our job was to represent America, to try to push forward things in America.
Are we still doing this? Yes, Jared, we're still doing this. The DNI report is public. It has been public for 3 years. I'll post it on X, the platform previously known as Twitter, so you can read it for yourself.
All right, there we go. So Trump is getting money from China, or he would say China. He's getting money from China, and he's getting money from the Saudis, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm going out on the limb, and Brandon knows this, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's selling this country out because he is pro-Putin. He's pro-communist. He's a pan-communist now.
You only able information. You only make information.
This is where me and you get into it because
Yes, because I'm talking about your beloved king, and you don't like that.
No, you're saying it, but you have no proof. You got to give me.
I proved it.
Tell me where to go to prove this. You just said that Trump takes money from China because Chinese dignitaries stay at his hotels.
Yes, that's how he launched it. If you're so against China,
Plus,
why
there's the article where he owes China all that money?
would you do that? Even all your crappy suits and stuff that Trump has is made overseas. We had this conversation before, and you said, "Well, yeah, that's the cost of doing business because of tariffs and yada yada yada."
You're not gonna outtalk me, so just stop with that. What I'm telling
What you mean not outtalk you? I'm answering
you're
you.
trying to overtalk me because you know what you're saying is not true, so you try to say it loud and overtalk me. First of all,
No, that's what you do. But go ahead, it's your show.
If these people buy a service from Trump, meaning they stay in Trump's hotel, they pay Donald Trump to stay in his hotel, wherever they are in the world, then Trump actually pays people in China to manufacture a suit.
So now, so he's saying, "Oh, Chinese stay in Trump's hotel. What's the big deal? I thought China was the enemy. Now it's okay. Oh no, it's okay. They could stay at They could stay at Trump's hotel. What's the? He's just providing a service. You see now how he just changes his whole energy now. Now it's it's okay to do business with China. This is totally fine, Even though I said 2 minutes ago, like, oh, China's the worst and Biden's working with China. No, I just proved to you that Trump is working with China and is in bed with China economically.
Manufacture a suit for him, which he then brings to America and sells that suit. That's called doing business. Now we can see the paper trail.
Okay, all right. I see how you put the goalpost. So for the.
I'm done with this nigga.
Anyway. I'm done with this nigga. What? All I did was laugh. He's so sensitive, so effeminate that he's like, he hurt my feelings. He laughed. How dare he? What? Why? Because now, because he just realized that he wants American jobs to go overseas. He wants China, right? American businessmen to deal with China that he calls the enemy. And it's okay for him to send American jobs overseas, right? Because it's the cost of doing business. Even though Trump is putting tariffs on China and all these other people and people that don't pay up, and I'm not gonna attack. I'm not gonna defend you if you don't pay your bill, because the United States, we're footing the bill. But now it's okay. It's not. Back then it wasn't the cost of doing business. You fucking weak bitch ass coward. Now it's the cost of doing business. And this is why people don't come to his show, because he's a fucking coward and he's weak. He can't admit when he's wrong. He's physically a little man and mentally a little man. Right? Physically a little man and mentally a little man. And extremely fragile. And a fucking coward. Because just because I laughed, I didn't call him any names. I laughed because I know he's full of shit. And he knows he's full of shit. But let's see if he can explain his bullshit, right? Because right now it's okay to do business with China, right? Even though by his logic, China's the enemy. It's okay to do business with Saudi Arabia because they're a dictatorship. It's okay to mess with Vladimir Putin, even though he's a dictator. It's okay now for us to send American people, that have American companies to send American jobs overseas because of the cost of doing business. So let's see what his explanation is.
Anyway, you guys see, these people are gone mentally. Because if Trump does business with this dude, if he does business with China, has a factory, whatever in China, we know where the money is going. Trump has to pay taxes on that, et cetera, right? You guys have to understand, you have to help me understand how Biden is getting 300.
Whoa. How we go to Biden? He did a whataboutism. What about Biden? What about Biden? So he pays taxes on everyone. Everybody pays taxes on sending jobs overseas, taxes or less, because you got to pay tariffs and shipping costs and all that. But they do it overseas, for those of you that may not know, is because instead of hiring Americans and pay them an American wage, it has to be brick and mortar. I'm gonna have to hire managers. I have to hire workers, pay them living wage. I gotta pay for their medical. I gotta provide all these things where I could just send it overseas and at a fraction of the cost and still get quote unquote the same quality. But he's okay with that. He's okay with Donald Trump now, or any businessman in America sending jobs overseas. Mask off, y'all. He is a communist. He's not a Republican. He went so right, I kind of see him coming left. This is how far gone he is. He's no longer a part of the framework of American democracy. He's no longer a part of the framework of American sovereignty, American security, American financial well-being, American sanity, American democracy, as far as when it comes to protecting American jobs and American people. It's just the cost of doing business. And his explanation is like, oh, well, they paid a little bit of tax on it. But what about Joe Biden? I'm going to give him 5 seconds. I'll see where he's going to go with this Joe Biden bullshit. This is about where he's going to go with this whataboutism.
300,000, 500,000 deposits into the bank accounts of his children from Chinese companies, but ain't providing no service.
But that's all a lie. That's all a lie. Because if that was the truth, like how long the Hunter Biden and stuff like that's been going on? It's going on for 3 years. And what did they found? Oh, Hunter Biden, gun charge. Because he was on drugs and you're not supposed to have a gun while you're, he lied about, not being under influence of drugs, and that's a felony, and he could serve up to 25 years. That's what they found in a 3-4 year investigation. And he's smirking because he's full of shit and he's a liar. Right? So we're dealing with a communist right now. Remember, their confession is projection. When they say, oh, the communists, socialists, that's who they are. They're definitely not socialists. They are communists. He gave you things about Tucker Carlson humanizing on Putin and saying, hey, communism is so bad. Then he's saying it's okay to send jobs overseas, and Putin's not bad, right? But the Democrats is the problem. He's promoting communism and dictatorships of Putin, but the Dems are the problem. And the Republicans that are for Russia and Putin, right, hate war, but want the war against the Palestinians because they want Israel to rule all of Gaza and the West Bank. That's fine. War is good when it comes to that, but we hate all war. What a pathetic bitch ass nigga. I am, and a fucking coward. He's just a fucking coward. Like, we're like 3 minutes in, about to bring it to an end. I was going to show you guys a couple of videos just to put the cherry on top. to let you know the type of person that the message that he's pushing, the message that he's promoting, and everything is to the demise of the United States, right? Is either he probably has his head up too far up Donald Trump's ass, or his orange balls and got Donald Trump's orange balls in his mouth where he can't even talk or figure shit out right. But this is where it's going. I'm having a regular conversation, and it leads to them, right? He's supposed to be the so-called black authority of the Republican Party. And when you talk to him, it's you bowing the knee at Russia, Putin, and sending American jobs overseas and doing business with China, our enemy, and doing business with China, that's our enemy, and doing business with Saudi Arabia, which is our enemy. This is the MAGA American dream. This is what they want right now, right? Let me show you more, right? So this is what he's getting mad at, right? Trump event on Twitter made in American goods. A lot of merchandise couldn't be featured, right? Because he makes all his stuff where? Vietnam. See right there, Vietnam. Made in Vietnam label attached to Trump branded article of clothing in 2016. This guy is freaking Donald Trump, one of the biggest grifters, con men ever. Right? That's what he's mad. That's what he's mad at, man. And even Ivanka stuff is made. That's not Ivanka, my bad. Even his stuff and Ivanka stuff is made there. So they doubled down on all of sending American jobs. Listen, he never cared about the American people. He cared about the bottom line, which is money in his pocket. Whatever where he could get money quicker and better, that's what he's gonna do. Damn America. Damn America. He does not care about America, and he used these fucking fools in order to push this irrational, un-American message, thinking that they're doing something American, that they're being American patriots. What's another one? Right? Again, he's in love with Putin and dictators, right? So right now, Putin and Kim Jong-il, they're partnering up together. You think Trump is against that? Have any of you seen Trump talking against this partnership?
Tonight, North Korea's Kim Jong-un pulling out all the stops in an elaborately choreographed state visit for Russian President Vladimir Putin. The outcast and sanctioned leaders side by side reviewing troops, cheered by crowds of children with balloons.
Remember, outcast and sanctioned leaders. The UN, not just the United States, the UN, the global community consider them dictators. They are dictators. And sanctions and blockades have been, man.
Then in the front seat with Putin behind the wheel. Earlier, a friendly debate over who would be first into Kim's car, which was a gift from Putin last year. The two unveiled a strategic defense treaty promising mutual assistance in case either country faces aggression. The details of it not spelled out, but both calling it a break.
Look, this was smart. When you study the art of war, this is smart. This is your typical, I don't think they're enemies, but usually the enemies of my enemies is my friend. They have a common enemy, which is the United States and the rest of the global community, right? So this will work out for them, which is scary, goes to my point. Like, why are we giving any so-called American a pass who wants to give cover to Russia?
It a breakthrough. The deepening alliance raising alarms for the U.S. and the West, who have worked to isolate Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. Putin has turned to North Korea, which, according to U.S. officials, has already sent millions of rounds of ammunition, artillery shells, and missiles to help Russia's war effort.
North Korea is providing significant munitions to Russia.
Yeah, so there's that. So for those humans say, well, you know what? It's just fine. You're saying that about Russia, but hey, Donald Trump has no issue with North Korea. He hates Kim Jong-il, and they're like, nah, you're wrong. You would be absolutely wrong. You guys remember this?
Really being tough, and so was he. I was really being tough, and so was he. And we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love. Okay? No, really.
Hold on, why that didn't play like that?
And so was he. And we would go back and forth, and then we fell in love. Okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love. But you know what? Now they'll say, Donald Trump said they fell in love. How horrible. How horrible is that? So unpresidential.
Fucking idiot. What did that do?
I'll tell you the same answer here.
What did that do? What did them, because everyone knows Trump is a simple Simon idiot. All you gotta do is compliment him and say stuff like that, and he'll leave you the fuck alone. He's supposed to go over to North Korea. I credit him for going to North Korea. He was the first president to go over to North Korea, right? But his objective and his goal over there to go to North Korea was not to have them build any nuclear arms. They have nuclear arms. So it was just a vanity project that you did, a stunt that you did. And well, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna be the first American to president to go over there, right? He still has nuclear arms, and he's linking up with Vladimir Putin. What good was that? What good was that? And to my boy Buana, we had this conversation before, and I told him, and he said, "Hey, Donald Trump was the first American president over there to go over there to North Korea." I was like, "Yes," and I just told you what to prevent them building nuclear arsenals. They have nuclear arsenals right now. Simple Google search, right? It says at the low end, what I put in, does North Korea have nuclear capabilities? Right? It says at the low end, Bloomberg.com, right? So at the low end, experts estimate that North Korea has assembled 40 to 50 nuclear warheads, the fewest among the 9 nations with nuclear weapons. However, one estimate from a 2021 study by the RAND Corp that and SN Institute put the number as high as 116. Right? North Korea, what missiles does it have? Right? They're a threat. Now they're together. But well, Kim Jong-il fell in love with them, so you know everything is fine. Everybody go home. Everything is fine. Kim Jong-il fell in love with Donald Trump. He fell in love with Donald Trump. It's okay. Go home. Everything's fine. MAGA morons. Right? And this is what Brandon is trying to sell you. This is what MAGA is trying to sell you. What's up, Bitter Medicine Podcast? What's up? Right? What's up? I don't understand people like this. It's extremely dangerous to political discourse. It's extremely dangerous to political discourse that he's selling America down the river over what? Like, is he just stupid, or he's in a cult which will make him stupid? Like, I don't think they understand the gravity of the danger that they're selling people. And of course, there's groups of people, like-minded people, that think that, and you see what happens when you try to penetrate their bubble. They immediately kick you out. The moment you start making sense, started making sense, and he kicked me out, and he had no explanation for it. He had no logical, political, pro-American explanation for him siding with Putin, him siding with Trump. That is pretty much a dictator. The Republican Party is a dictatorship, is a Republican communist dictatorship. That's what it has become right now, right? And when you, again, I know I probably wouldn't be able to convince him, but I like exposing his hypocrisy. That's what I love. I like exposing his hypocrisy. I like exposing that his logic doesn't logic, right? I think I had this answer. After 1991, the United States and Georgia colonial friendly strategic relations, independent. So yeah, so Ukraine's been an independent nation since 1991. So I don't know what treaty was he talking about where we can't do anything. I mean, I had so many notes here that I didn't even go through yet just to disprove what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. It's just totally ridiculous. Right? But I think I proved my point again. That's why I'm the goddamn champ. I'm the undisputed champ right now when it comes to this, when it comes to debunking Brandon, man. And I thank my supporters, all my subscribers, you know, because they say, you know, stay on his heels, stay on him or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know, right? So I'm glad to do this. I'm glad to do this. You know what I'm saying? He's the liar every time. So if I go on there, yes, I want him to kick me out because it shows weakness. It shows weakness. Like when you have a person, you want to have an exchange of ideas, and during the exchange, they want to hit you. Why? Because they can no longer convince you with the words or your position, so they have to go a physical route. He couldn't prove what he was saying to be sensibly or factually correct, so he got frustrated and he just kicked me out, and he just stopped. Then started doing whataboutism, right? Started doing whataboutism, and you know that's the Republican talking point when they do whataboutism, right? Because they know their point cannot be made, and it just makes no sense. So that's pretty much that's it for me, guys. Yeah, I proved my point. Whatever, we're like 3 hours in. I was trying to do it short, but it is what it is. Again, Bakari, go Bakari's channel. He put his I think that should be the name of his channel in there. So go and subscribe to Brother Bakari's channel. Also the Bitter Medicine podcast. Remember to subscribe to them. Good conversations on there. That's from 8 to 11 every Saturday. And I really, really do appreciate Brother Bakari coming here and bestowing his wisdom and his knowledge, pretty much. And we do need to get our money together collectively. That's the only way in this country. If you're going to only operate in the confines of this country and have an FBA mentality and say, fuck them tethers or whatever, if that's what your ideology is, but even if it isn't, right? Our money is our power. Our unity and our money is our power, right? So peace out. So peace to Brother Bakari, Bitter Medicine podcast on the To Be Fair show. They're cool. That I think they got something going on right now about to cause some problems over there when I saw the topic. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do more shows. But again, I'm not like Brandon. I have a family and a real job. So I can't, get on here as often as I want, but I do want to. And thank you all for the one that answered the survey, right? I was only a little disappointed because I really want to do something on religion. I really want to do something on religion. Rock with me if you can, but I really want to do something on religion. There's a lot of more FBA stuff that I want to do. There's one gem that I really, really want to talk about as far as like so-called Tether's contribution to the building of the United States. I think I'm gonna do that one. Things keep popping up all the time, like these topics or whatever. I need to stay away from it for a while and just really concentrate on the topics that I really, really want to talk about. You guys want me to talk about FBA and things of that nature? Yeah, cool. I'll do that. Right. So this one's going to be really good. So I'm going to try to work on that. And that's basically it. Thank you all for coming to the channel. Thank you all for subscribing. Thanks again to Brother Bakari. Thanks to P Funk. Thanks to all my new subscribers and whatever. Again, in the community section, again, if you let me know what you want me to talk about specifically, right? And Ant, aka Shaka Zulu, I don't know what happened, man. I don't know why you know what I'm saying, you were playing possum. You were really an op for Brandon. Like, what's going on? I thought we was cool. I thought we was cool, but you know, you welcome here anyway, man. You welcome here anyway. And maybe you could do a better job than Brandon on why Trump should be our guy, right? That's my challenge to you. Why should Trump be our guy, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Brother McQuarrie. It wasn't much that he was to say. He just, Brother McQuarrie was just pretty much like, hey, like, okay, what about Trump? If Trump is president, what's that going to do for Black economics as far as like where you spend your money? And Ant just got mad, you know what I'm saying, because he has no real position when it comes to Black wealth. It's just Trump 24. So it's just sad. Even when Joe Biden, look, even if Cornel West won, right? I want Cornel West to be president. Even if Cornel West becomes president, Brother Bakari's message is still important, right? How we spend them, we have control where we spend our money, right? We have control where we spend our money, and our money is our power. But I don't want to keep repeating myself, but thanks and peace to everybody who came, joined in. Peace, and to everybody who subscribe. Remember, go to community page, and you know it's fun at my community page, and there's a survey there as far as like topics and stuff that you want me to say, or again on here, just comment on anything. But thank you very much. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and until next time, everyone, take care of yourself, love yourself. Black power, Black love. Peace.